Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England, 2001. With me tonight...
Philip playing Silas Shaw of Clan Brugger.
Bex playing Velvet Riley of Clan Ventru.
Lane playing Joanne Salt of Clan Toreador.
And Carlos playing Theodore Penn of Clan Ventru.
So we'll be going into a recap shortly, but before we do, I just want to say that I'm a little bit bug-infested this session, so apologies in advance if any of the voices sound a bit weird, but also a shout-out to Carlos, who's been giving me very helpful special medicinal tea over the last few days. And my mission for this session is not to cough in the mic and kill Callum, so we'll see how that goes. So if we could have a recap from you players.
Okay, so the Coterie spent time pursuing their own projects in the lead up to the next court session.
Then at the court, the Coterie attempted to see out their project to stop the duel between Sally and Rupert, and they were successful in stopping the duel, but there were some unforeseen circumstances.
Sir James Douglas himself objected to the manner of the resolution, and his public condemnation brought Sally and Rupert to the edge of frenzy.
Thank you very much. And the Coterie helped keep Sally and Rupert in control until the scourge struck Sally down, disappearing with her. Court then continued unhindered by further disturbance. And then the herald approached.
Joanne.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, we did end the last session with the Herald speaking to Joanne. There is one other thing, though, before we start the session, which is that people in chat observed last week that I made a storyteller boo-boo. And so I should fess up and apologise to Bex because I stripped Velvet of some of his resources in the last session because of involvement in a project. But of course, as people in chat pointed out, when Velvet did the Secret Love Nest project, actually it was a crit win, and so the resources were not fully committed. So Velvet has all of his resources back. Well spotted, you wonderful, clever, observant people, you.
Thanks, chat. I don't need to know the rules. Because chat know them.
Chat have got your back, always.
But also
Always.
it's pretty cool
I love you,
like,
chat.
Chat knows the project rules, so whenever we engage in projects, they know what's going on. So
And
Chat.
know what happens in the sessions better than I do. Even more useful. Yes.
Thank you, chat.
All right, so court is obviously looks like it's starting to wind down, but and some people have already left, like Barnaby, for example. However, Joanne has elected to stay for reasons of her own, and has been found by the Herald. And I believe where we ended, she just asked about what he wanted to speak about, and he had said, well. So we'll pick up from there.
Yeah.
I imagine you are most keen to learn about your blood tax.
I don't think keen's the word, but shall we?
Oh, indeed. Your first blood tax is due next year, in January. The 17th of January, to be precise. It is a Thursday, and the time it must be delivered by is midnight. Now, of course, it is your choice as to what exact flavour of blood you choose to bring. But if I might give you a recommendation... He lowers his voice a little. Something with a little vigour would be most appreciated. Something revitalizing, energetic.
What will happen to the person that I bring?
Well, that rather depends. I would recommend bringing someone who would not be terribly missed, should they prove to be a favoured vintage.
I see.
Do you have any further questions?
Where would I be delivering this person?
The exact details will be delivered nearer the time, but it will be somewhere within the city itself.
Thank you for bringing me these details.
Oh, it was my pleasure. You stare at each other without love for a few moments, and then the herald leaves. So, is there anything else anybody wishes to do in this current court? Okay. So no one else will approach you as individuals, and the court will come to a kind of natural close as people drift off and make their way home. Now, I have a few things in mind that are going to happen over the next few days. However, are there any things that you are immediately planning on doing? So it is currently Friday the 30th of November, 2001, and the court was that night. Is there anything immediately you wish to do? If not, I will start having things occur.
It's not something I want to do in a specific time slot. It's over the course of the next few days.
Yeah.
I will be helping Miyuki feel at peace. So taking some
yeah.
So prepping for the
Yep.
for the meeting with Sir William. So she's already sort of in that state, in that mood.
I like it. Okay, how about we make this a role, and we make it a leadership, and let's say, you could probably argue the opposite, but I might say manipulation.
I would say charisma. Because it's Miyuki, I don't need to lie to her. She knows what's going on.
All right. Seeing as, she's very willing to follow your instructions, for reasons of the blood, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So if you make a charisma and leadership roll, and this is really, it's not that you can't do it, you will definitely do it regardless, it's just whether this will enable you to get any other sort of bonuses mechanically in the event itself.
That is 4 successes, critical win.
She feels very at peace.
And a skull.
But that's fine because you succeeded.
Okay.
If 4 successes and a crit
It wouldn't
win,
be that good, so...
if 4 successes and a crit win doesn't succeed on your own ghoul, then you know you're in trouble.
Yes.
Then you have to ask if they really are your ghoul at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so you know, the tea ceremony is booked in for Wednesday the 5th of December.
Okay. So, I make preparations for that date.
All right. So as you're preparing, and she's already booked a private room for the tea ceremony. So as that is approaching, over the next few days, is anybody doing anything I should be aware of?
Sarah says as nearing the time his parents are going to come visit, is going to be sort of laying some groundwork, seeing if he can with the studio, seeing if he can get his parents to be permission to show his parents around.
Okay, that's a relatively trivial action, so you can auto-success it if you want, or you can make a roll if you want to try and blag special treatment or something fancy. If you just wanted them to be able to come in and you can take them round, that's trivial. You can just do that with your stats and your
I think
it's only your parents' basement. All right, lovely. Okay, yes, so you set that all up, no problems at all.
Yeah. In addition to that, I'm going to be, of course, talking to T, see if I can get that shark head.
Okay. Yeah, again, it is not difficult for you to get the shark head from T.
Yeah.
I assume you're trying to get the very specific Sharkman head, however.
That very specific one, yep.
The one that they use, the one with the knives in the eyes?
Yeah.
That one.
Can I just... What's your charisma and persuasion pool halved?
2.
Okay. And are you willing to employ any disciplines?
Yes.
Oh, fine. You get the head. No problems. You will also get, shall we say, some very adoring attention into the action. Which obviously Silas is quite happy with, right? Yeah. Something that will strike Silas as well is that when he employs the power of the blood like this, people just easier to deal with. And it makes you realise, in some ways, just how difficult life has been in the past, and how now it's almost like the waters just part for you whenever you want it. It's a good feeling.
Yes, they should.
Yeah, good feeling.
Yep.
So yes, all those preparations are in place. Are you doing anything immediately with the Sharkman head?
I will, of course, will be contacting Mr. Whispers. And arranging.
All right. So let me just make a note. Mr. Whispers handover.
Yep. and with that as well, hopefully getting information of where exactly the borderline is of the North and South territories.
Okay. All right, so we can do that as a scene in a little bit.
I need to kick off my project to learn about kindred politics. I also probably should visit my wife.
Okay. Let's resolve the simpler of those two things first, which is the project. So with the project, and for those of you watching at home, if you haven't heard in the past, we're using projects this time around. And a project is where you try to do something like influence the world in some way or gain some kind of new background in some way. And you do this by staking some of your existing backgrounds in a project and then making a roll appropriately. So, this is a project where you wish to get a specialty on the politics skill, which is about kindred society or Oxfordshire kindred politics. Because it's just a specialty, it's a scope 1 project.
Okay.
That means the difficulty you'll be rolling against is 3.
Yep.
Hunger does not apply on this roll. What's the background you're going to stake?
It's all my resources.
So you're going to stake your resources, so it'll be resources and politics.
Yeah.
Difficulty 3. And the project is going to take about 7 weeks.
Okay. Do you want me to roll this now?
You can roll it. Yeah, because I feel like actually all of the rolls, all the times where you're meeting other kindred is sort of the beginning of this.
Okay, yeah.
So we don't need to do a launch scene. You can just make the roll.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Theodore, get out of that body.
1.
So on the result of a failed roll, what it means is that the project doesn't launch.
Okay.
If you wish to try the project again, you can do so, but it's at a +1 difficulty.
Okay.
So your resources are not committed. It just didn't work.
Okay. Right.
The timing wasn't right, or something more pressing came to the fore.
My stupid wife, God.
Talking of your stupid wife, am I right in saying you're going to go and visit her?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I need to.
Okay, so we will do that scene in a moment. And Joanne, anything you're up to?
Just to talk to Theo and Velvet at some point.
That sounds perfect. How about we do that? I'll pick up this scene with Velvet and a scene with Silas, and then we can do your interactions across. So, you go to this place you vaguely remember. It's your actual home.
Yeah.
And assumedly you go at not 1 or 2 in the morning.
No, like after dark.
After dark.
Obviously.
Yes.
But just not late after dark. I know what it's like 6, 8-ish.
Are you trying to go like before Freddie's bedtime?
Yeah, I think I'll do the whole. I'll just be a good dad, for once.
All right, so you turn up and you do like the proper dad. You spend some quality time with Freddie. Freddie loves it. Freddie will say when bedtime comes, well, "Can't I just stay up a little longer, Daddy?"
Sweetheart, you have to go to bed. You have to go to school in the morning.
But it's a special night.
Why so?
Well, you're here, Daddy.
Sorry, I just laughed in his face.
That is hard.
And we've been playing this fun game, and it's been so nice. And I was thinking, just a few more minutes wouldn't hurt.
What time is it?
What time would Freddie normally go to bed? Do we think about?
Probably 7:30.
I was going to say 7:30. So let's say it is 7:30 now.
Okay.
Probably just after, maybe moving towards 20 to 8.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's go upstairs to your bedroom, and then we can carry on playing for a little bit, and then you can go to bed.
Okay. I'll race you.
I will race him, and obviously I'll lose.
Okay. In that time-honoured tradition.
Yeah.
You make a good show of racing as fast as you can, and somehow at the last moment he wins.
Yeah.
I won't make you roll a subterfuge check on this one. He is willing to buy this lie with all his heart. He's very delighted to have won, and will dance around a lot. He'll do like proper I beat you victory,
I will encourage this because that's a good skill to have in life.
Yes.
Mocking others.
Nice.
Yeah.
You'll. He will try and do his level best to keep this going as long as he can.
Yeah.
How long is Velvet willing to let this run?
Probably half an hour.
Okay. So eventually, he will go to bed.
Okay.
maybe 40 minutes later. And you go back down to Jessica.
Yep.
She says, that was nice to see. How are things at work?
Oh, they were pretty good.
Have things eased off a bit now?
Some ways, not in others.
Does that mean this isn't the new normal?
I want it to be, but I don't know if I don't want to make you a promise I'm not going to keep.
Well, I understand that. There is a promise I'd like you to make, though. On Sunday, the 9th, my family are coming over for Sunday dinner. And I want you to be there. It's at 2:30. I assume work can spare you on a Sunday.
I'll have to check my schedule.
She folds her arms.
Sure. I'm sure I can make the space.
She unfolds her arms.
You know what? I want to talk to you anyway about something different.
Of course. Do you want a drink?
Sure.
So
That sounds like a real good idea.
So she'll pour a couple of glasses of wine.
Okay.
And sit down with you in your very comfortable front room.
You remember I told you a little bit back that I was touring the warehouse and something fell on me. Busted up my rib.
Oh yes, I remember. Has it?
It's all right. It's on the mend. It's that wasn't exactly the truth.
She pauses in her sip of the glass. All right.
I didn't want to tell you the truth because I didn't want to worry you. But it turns out what happened and the effects of it are more far-reaching than I thought they would be. So as it was, I was where I said I was. But it wasn't that something, it wasn't an accident. I left and I got jumped by a couple of guys. And
What?
I didn't see them. It was dark. I was leaving late. Anyway, they did something of a number on me. And I didn't want to worry you, so I didn't tell you about it.
God, Velvet. She'll put down her glass and she'll come over to you. You were mugged. You should have told me. Is this why I've barely seen you?
It's part of the reason, right? But I didn't want to make a thing out of it, so I had the company doctor do a workup.
Oh my God.
And I got the results back and
Wait. Oh, it's no. Go on.
Well, it seems like he told me that the injuries that I sustained during that assault are going to make it impossible for us to have any more children. And so I didn't want you to think that my behavior of late was on you.
I had no idea.
I wouldn't have told you, but then I realized you would think there was something up, and then.
So I would like you to make a manipulation subterfuge on this particular occasion, because although your pool is strong,
Manipulation, subterfuge.
It is quite a critical,
Yep.
barefaced lie that you're
Joanne's insight alarm is going off somewhere.
like in some other part of the city. What?
But does my cover-ups apply to this?
Yeah, why not?
So does that...
It adds a die.
That's a die, that's what I thought.
So hunger...
Are you using disciplines or something?
No, why would I do that?
I mean, you totally can.
I totally can convince her.
Like presence and things like that help.
You can. I mean, you can if you want to.
Well, not. Oh, depends.
If you want to use your disciplines, you can do.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You're gonna make a principled stand on this lie.
Yeah, because,
I like it.
mean, I have a line, and this...
Yeah. No. I'm with you. I'm with you. You've got to draw the line somewhere. Somewhere at some point. Yeah. No. Totally.
You've got to stop moving the line.
All right.
Okay, willpower. Shall I use willpower? Oh no, this is probably alright. This is alright.
You do willpower, do you want to do those two?
Oh yes, you're right, yeah, I do. Let's do willpower.
I
Okay.
assume willpower is.
Oh yes. So yes, if you've spent any superficial willpower, it will replenish at the start of this session, equal to your highest of composure or resolve.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the skull? Remind
Nothing.
me? Nothing. So 5.
Yeah, the skull's relevant if you fail the contest.
Okay.
If you succeed in the contest, and it's fair to say she does have a little bit of insight,
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
but maybe not enough in this case.
5.
So she will be kind of a weird mix of wanting to be very close and kind of comforting, but also she's very delicate, almost as if she's worried she's going to hurt you. But she'll kind of very gently kind of put her hands on you and stroke your hair and say, well, we won't worry about the future now. Which is the important thing is that you recover and you feel we'll just let everything get better and then we'll worry about the future. For now you just rest and you look after yourself and if something like this, I mean, heaven forbid anything happens like this again, but if it does, you have to promise you'll tell me.
I will.
I was going out of my... I was thinking all kinds of stupid things.
I'm so sorry.
And I want to spend that energy helping you, not making your life more difficult.
I will tell you, I promise.
And I understand now.
I'll pull her into an embrace.
Yeah, she'll
Yep.
embrace you.
I won't do that again. It's not.
After a few moments, she breaks from the embrace
Yeah.
and says, "And these men, did they catch them on camera?"
I don't know. I was having the office look into it. No.
We have to prosecute. People shouldn't be able to get away with these sort of things.
I know. I haven't just left it. I promise you. I don't.
Do you want me to handle it or help?
No, God. What if they find out who you are, or you could get hurt? I don't want that.
I don't mean in that way. I mean, speak to the police and make sure things are happening. Get a lawyer.
I spoke to the police, but they haven't managed to catch anyone.
You call me heartless.
It's not a. I don't know. I mean, I check in with them every now and again.
Look, Velvet,
It don't.
I want you to focus on getting better, but I don't think we should let people like this. They ruin lives. We have to take a stand.
Let me think about it. All right.
Yes,
It's
of
not
course.
I.
Don't worry, I won't. I don't want to press you, but I don't want it to get so far that the police just say they can't do anything.
Just don't tell this to Freddie and that.
Oh no, of course not.
And you're right. It needs to be sorted out. But
Well, this was at your work.
no, it was at the warehouse, or the location for the warehouse. It was over in a place called Wantage.
Well,
I think that's what it's called.
then it's probably someone who works for the company, or knows someone, is connected, or something. I mean, if they're hanging out outside of a warehouse.
Well, I don't know if they were hanging out or not. I don't know if it was opportunistic. I don't know a lot about this sort of thing. But I didn't see them. They were behind me.
I could speak to the warehouse manager and see if they've got security footage.
Sure, I guess.
Yes, all right.
All right. Well,
Look, you'll get better, and we'll make sure nothing like this can happen to you again.
all right.
You spend a relatively pleasant evening together.
They
Silas.
freak out about me.
Oh, he plays his violin
Tears.
on the rib cage of his victims.
He's a teddy bear.
He's
a
a
very
he's-
efficient killing teddy bear.
So, Silas, you are arranging to meet Mr. Whispers.
Yes.
Is there anything I should know about what you're doing with the Sharkman head, or are you literally just turning up with it?
It'll be in the boot of my car.
Okay.
It'll be in the boot of my car and arranged to meet somewhere quietish. So there's no.
Are you literally arranging it like a drop off, or are you arranging it like we're going to meet at a cafe?
So we'll have a chat. I'll be doing the whole reveal.
Okay. So probably after a bit of back and forth, if you raise the fact that you're going to be driving or something, she might ask that you maybe pick her up,
Yep.
and she'll give you an address or a street, basically.
Yeah.
So it won't be like you go to a house; it'll just be that she's waiting on a street corner. She's dressed a little because in court she often wears a veil, whereas now she's in very casual clothes. She's wearing a hoodie. The hood is up. Hands kind of stuffed into the pockets of it, and her head kind of tilted down, and a little bit Cousin It style. Her hair is all kind of forward. There's like a narrow curtain where one might peek out at the world.
Yeah.
But she looks as kind of enclosed as she can be.
Yep.
And on a casual look, she could look like almost any other kind of young person on the street. Although you know enough now to know if you look closer, she obviously isn't at all. So you pull up in your car,
Yep.
assumedly open the door.
Open the door. Let her in.
Yeah, she'll hop into the passenger seat and put on a seatbelt.
Yeah. And we'll probably go to somewhere.
When you say somewhere, do you just mean, are you driving to a quiet location, or do you mean you're taking her to a place?
Probably just a quiet location.
Okay, so you drive a little bit out of town.
Yeah.
And she won't. You think she's kind of looking at you vaguely through the curtain of hair, but it's hard to be sure. The little bit of her nose that you can see, the skin seems kind of slightly rough or like unnaturally, I guess a little bit like someone who's got bad eczema or something like that. That's kind of what it looks to you, but not just like in a patch, but like the whole of the nose. Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, fine. It's kind of surreal.
Well, you've no idea where life or unlife in this case will take you.
Yeah. So, I don't want to sound too eager, but have you got it?
It's in the boot.
So are we driving far?
Not too far.
Okay.
Because there was one thing I was wanting to make sure that we flesh out for just for a little bit of certainly a little bit of business for later when the Coterie gets on there. It's just so we know, so I'm aware of the boundary line.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to ask?
Well, just whereabouts does the line for the north and south run?
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. The boundary line. Yeah. So it's well, I could show you on a map. The thing is, that's actually a really hard question to answer because, well, I can draw you a line, but well, it's not like it's an agreed line. I mean, it's roughly across the central part. The city itself is not considered either the north or the south gatekeeper's jurisdiction. So you kind of draw a line around the city,
Yep.
and then you draw a line out from the middle, and there are maps, and I have a map, and I can show you the map. Well, I'll email you the map.
Thank you.
But well, sometimes the map that I've got, I don't think is the map that you've got in the south.
Yeah, it's again that's understandable the case, but as long as we know kind of where the rough.
Oh yeah, rough I can do.
And of course, as well, so long as we're communicating that'll make things easier on both.
Yeah, sure,
sides of the line.
sure. And maybe you could show your sire,
Yeah.
because then he would know where the border was, and that would be really useful too. You know, until your coterie take
Yeah,
over.
of course, we are looking to become approved. One thought that does pop into mind there is there potentially a way that you and your coterie would vouch for us, would vouch for all of us?
Well, I don't really know your coterie, but I mean, I could say something
Yeah.
for you if you wanted. I mean, seeing as you're doing me this favour, I could say something if you want.
Yes, and
I mean, you know, if you'd like that.
I would very much appreciate that, and I do think it would be useful for both our coteries to know one another.
Yeah, I guess.
Again, it's a thought that I had. So you can ask your coterie, I'll ask mine. Just so we check the waters, make sure everyone's okay with it.
I mean, okay. What's your coterie like? I mean, really, I won't tell anyone. You can be honest.
Theodore is capable, and although the failure of the test of metal that was not
Had to bring it in.
yeah that I do not believe was his fault. He's a lot more capable than he seems.
Because I mean, I didn't judge him badly for that. He's very old.
Yes. Yeah.
Very.
He's in his 40s.
No, he's not a pensioner.
I am beyond pensioner. I am late 50s, early 60s.
To Mr. Whispers, he's very old. Let's put it that way.
Velvet as well has I don't think we've seen Velvet's true potential yet, but I'm sure that will be developed in time. And
He did really well in the test.
yes, that he did. I was very impressed with that.
Do you think you were closer than me? Do you think that the Scourge gave him an easy time?
I don't think the Scourge gave any of us an easy time, especially Joanne. She was that.
Oh yeah.
That was a bit below the belt. Very brutal, that one.
Yeah. But what's she like though? I mean, I saw them all get hit, but you know them.
I can't say I know them. Because it takes time to get to know people.
Yeah.
But from what I said, she's got a strong will, as Joanne. Very strong will.
Okay. So you get to this location that you're driving to, wherever it is, and you stop the car. She does a bad job of hiding her excitement and eagerness to get out of the car and get to the boot.
I open the boot, it's covered, and with a flourish.
With the flourish you kind of reveal the Sharpmare head, and she's like, and she picks it up with a kind of very careful reverence. It's smaller than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's.
They must do something clever with the cameras to make it look bigger. You know, maybe they film it up close or something.
Yeah, it's small to do, and the cameramen they're very skilled. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I believe you. Oh, this is perfect, Silas. It's the right one. Thank you. She sort of opens her hoodie up slightly and kind of inserts the head and then does the hoodie back up so it's kind of tucked away inside. It is in no way subtle. It looks like, you know...
She's stolen a TV!
It looks like she's stolen a beach ball or something.
Beach ball.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that was a sequence of events that, interesting couple ones. I put on.
Well, I'll send you that map, and if you need anything, just
I will do.
I don't normally do this side of things, but
Yeah.
my family, we're quite good at finding things out if you need things found out.
So, who your coterie does normally do this part of the thing?
Oh, I don't mean my coterie. I mean my family.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I find things out for the coterie sometimes.
Yeah.
If we have to. A lot of them, whether they look it or not, they're not really modern like we are. So I deal with that sort of thing. Anything from like a VCR onwards, really. You know how it is. Wait, or maybe you don't. Or maybe you do. Is because Theodore might struggle with that sort of thing.
He's got skills that I think I have yet to see yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he has.
Well, he must have skills because he was embraced. Yeah. I'm just saying, no, the rest of my coterie are very skilled, but a lot of them, they haven't moved with the times. That's all.
So what are they like? What sort of skills do they tend to bring?
Well, well, Graham's still adjusting, I think, but he knows. I'm sure he'll come into his own. I mean, he's okay. Do you really want to know about him? He's not very interesting. It's, Adam's nice, and he knows a lot about a lot of things actually, and he's very good at. Well, I think he's studied a lot, and he knows a lot of things, and he's good at people. I think. I don't think he likes it, but he's, if we need someone, like if there's been a mess. Oh, I don't know if you've had to deal with this kind of thing yet, but if there's been a mess and well, people have seen things they shouldn't have seen, or if they're stressed, or we need to talk them down, he's good at that kind of thing. Yeah. And then there's Fabrice, and he's my sire.
Oh, he's your sire? Oh.
Yeah. And he is he's nice actually. He's good with people too, but well, not people because he looks the way he looks, but he's good with us. He's good at arranging things and sorting things out. He's clever. So yeah, between us we work quite well. Yeah. I don't know if that was very helpful. Was that what you wanted to know?
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, good, because I just thought I was blethering on and on and on.
No,
I don't want you to think that I'm boring or anything.
It's fine.
Oh, cool, good. Okay. So, do you think you could take me back to that street now? 'Cause
no problem.
I want to put this with my collection, get it its proper place and that.
I get the sense you have quite an extensive collection.
Well, I'm trying to build one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really cool of you, Silas. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you like the show.
Oh yeah. If you ever, know of any big news coming up or anything, you want to tell me about it, that's always fine.
I mean, of course, the contract agreement means that I generally have to keep stum, but.
Yeah, but I can be trusted.
Of course.
I wouldn't tell anyone. I'm very discreet. Especially about secrets, about shows and things.
There's no business like show business.
My clan are known for it, We keep secrets. We're trustworthy. So assuming you drive her back.
Yep.
And she leaves quite rapidly. Like, she says goodbye and everything nicely, but she hurries off, obviously excited to get back. All right, so a couple of other details to catch in with you guys. One is that Victoria Campbell will get back to you to say they haven't yet found anything out when they've done their initial thing, but she'll ask about how seriously you want to know. In other words, do you want to stop? How much is it worth to you? Are you willing to effectively pay for the information, or perform other services for the information because they're not getting it easily. It's not a sphere they have easy access to, but they can do the legwork if you're willing to stretch for it.
Considering that Theodore fully knows that if he has nothing definitive, he will be against doing anything to the guy.
Yeah.
Actively against.
Yeah.
He would rather be sure.
So he wants them to pursue. So he's willing to put up some money or something, or services for services
Favour,
or something, yeah. So he's going to offer a favour.
Yeah.
Okay. So they will go back to what they're doing.
Cool.
Velvet, your PI will send you a report. They have had some success.
I would like to get everybody together and share this information with them.
Okay. So let's assume then, because Joanne wants to talk to some of you, so we can kind of segue perhaps from one scene to another. So where do you want to gather the coterie together? Finn has always offered his place. Finn has always offered you a place if you want to use that, but if you want to gather them somewhere else, you can do.
We don't have anywhere particularly that we gather, do we?
Nope.
No, Finn's place seems good.
Historically, it has been Finn's place that you've gathered.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are in this big converted barn with the mismatched, very comfortable chairs and the books. Let us say it is currently probably the 2nd of December. And what time are you gathering, everybody? Oh, can you make rouse checks for me? Just one. We'll assume that your other days have kept.
Okay.
So hunger 2 for Theodore.
I'm still on hunger 2.
Hunger 2 for Joanne.
Hunger 3.
Hunger 3 for Hungry Velvet.
I've moved it to hunger 4.
And hunger 3 for Silas. Good to know.
Oh boy.
I mean, I would probably try to make this gathering fairly early in the evening.
Yep, sure.
Do other things if we needed to.
All right, well, it's getting dark at the moment around, I should say that the sun sets around 3 in the afternoon, so you can meet as early as you like. Let's say you meet for 7.
Okay,
Like that.
yeah.
So 7 o'clock, you are all gathered. Finn is not currently in residence. He's out on his own business. So it's just the 4 of you.
Evening.
Evening, good to see everyone.
Yeah. I thought it might be useful to get together. You were talking about your boy Eric,
Yes.
and we were talking about learning what we could about this situation. I hired PI to go and look on into it, and I got some information back I thought it'd be useful to share with y'all.
So you share the information in the report. So what they found out is that in July of 2000, that Janie Harris had to went to the hospital with some injuries, predominantly kind of like sprained wrist and shoulder, but also some bruising. And they were seen by Dr. Parks, and your PI then went and spoke to Dr. Parks, and Dr. Parks remembered this quite well. And the reason that Dr. Parks remembered it well was because there was a police officer who asked them to take especially good notes. And Dr. Parks' suspicion was that it might have been because there was potentially going to be some kind of case connected to the events. However, nothing came of it. But there weren't any serious injuries, but there was bruising and there was a sprain. Janie herself wasn't very, she said she'd had a fall, but Dr. Parks didn't entirely believe that, but didn't,
Yeah.
And the name of the police officer, because your PI was very good, that was involved, that asked them to make these notes, was Inspector McAllister.
Okay.
So obviously Velvet is reading off a file and shares that information with you.
I mean, people can have copies if they want. I don't have good connections in the police, so I don't know how best to pursue that. I don't know if you got anything in that field.
Do we know the whereabouts of Miss Janie
Harris.
Do I have that in the file?
You don't. Actually, yeah, you probably do. Actually, yeah, they could have found out her address easily enough.
Yeah, there's an address in here.
I know she vanished about that time is when she vanished from the show business career. So
Wait, is this address in Oxfordshire?
Yeah, but not in Oxford. But
Not
in
in Oxford, but in Oxfordshire, right?
Okay. I would suggest talking to Miss Harris. Police Officer McAllister. Is he still on duty?
I don't know. This doesn't tell me, but
I would assume this only happened last year.
Right. So maybe we can try and find this police officer, Dr. Salt. Do you think you could talk to Dr. Parks?
I could try.
I don't know if you know.
Do you have access to medical?
You can make an intelligence roll to see if you remember Dr. Parks, because you may have encountered them before.
1 success.
Yeah, you don't like hang out or anything, but you are aware of Dr. Parks. They are a junior doctor to you. You will also remember the name McAllister. You may yourself remember the name McAllister, but just in case, you will remember that name.
I mean, it sounds like it's a sensible idea to speak to her, but I would think we would need some sort of reason to do that. That isn't this. Maybe medical follow-up. I mean, I'm happy to go along, but I don't see an immediate entry point into that conversation that's not going to make her clam right up. I mean, all right, that don't mean we can't get the information out of her, but I don't know. What do y'all think?
Well, possibly having a fellow employee at the studio with me.
yeah,
Would help.
and so what angle would you want? What would you recommend going with that then?
You're conducting your own internal investigation?
I like that. It's pretty good.
And that would then be probably by one of the lawyers or things like that. It's
Well,
not
let me be your lawyer. I'll just masquerade as your lawyer. That's easy.
And I can be the investigator that the
Right.
network has hired.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. And then between the lot of us, we should be able to find something useful out.
When are we thinking of going?
That's a good question. I think if we are going with the subterfuge, then we would make an appointment ahead of time.
It would be best to first find information on the medical records and
Right.
perhaps have Miss Salt converse with Dr. Palmer.
Joanne, I got a question for you. If this lady was assaulted by this guy, and it was this long ago, medically, anything you could find from an examination of her?
Not if it was this long ago. Probably wouldn't be anything lasting.
All right.
It would have to be on the records.
Right, all right. Well, at least that means we don't gotta put her through that. All right, well, why don't I have my secretary set up the appointment? That work for y'all?
Yeah.
And when do you want to do it? A few days from now?
Sounds like a plan.
The second, right?
Today's the 2nd, yeah. So Wednesday's the
Tea
5th,
the 5th.
which is the tea
Okay,
ceremony.
yeah. Except on the 5th.
All right, not on the 5th. Anyone else got plans?
I have.
As long as it's not on the 9th.
Not on the 9th, right, okay.
Not on the 9th.
So not the 5th, not the 9th, right.
I have my own people looking into this situation and Mr. Eric.
Oh, that sounds sensible. That sounds sensible. More information is better, right?
So let's see what they come up with.
All right.
Any luck finding people that can vouch for you?
At court, I was approached by one of the members of the current northern
Oh, the opposing.
Yeah, but
The opposing.
and Benton.
Also, I didn't know we were in a game and we took sides.
I
that-
misspoke. I just meant the other side.
So
Our peers,
yeah,
Right.
so
our opposite numbers in the northern gatekeeper.
I'm hoping to maybe I've actually gain a boon from that as well, which
That's pretty good going.
I didn't expect that coming at all.
Do you think you can cash that in to get them to vouch for you?
I'm hoping to cash it in so that Coterie will vote for all of us.
That will take more than a single boon given out by a single member.
Yeah, so
I would imagine that you could get one of them to vouch, probably for you because you're the boon owner.
But maybe maybe we can arrange a meeting between them and us and just.
Yeah, but why? Think about it this way, Mr. Shaw. What would they gain? Let's say we are citizens of Oxfordshire.
Yep.
We're having a normal Coterie meeting, and then a group of fledglings who have not been proven come to us and ask us to recognize them. Would you be willing to vouch for someone you don't know or barely know? Even for exchange of a boon.
I'd be willing to have a meeting and discuss ways to make sure that they can earn that.
Yeah, but you would ask something in return
Yeah.
for vouching for them, because you know that if they mess up in the future, heads will turn to you.
Yep.
I doubt people. You can try it, but I doubt that they will do it out of the kindness of their hearts.
No, I agree.
In addition to that, they did. Mr. Whispers did say that certainly in times gone past, the North and South have been of disagreements. They've rubbed up against each other. So it's a thing where we can then we work together and make it better
Not
for
that
everyone.
way. Well, I was planning on leveraging Rupert to see if he wouldn't speak up for the two of you, based on what we did.
The one person that was going to speak up for me just got disappeared by some.
But Rupert owes
Giant woman
Rupert
in
owes
armor,
all
so-
of us, right? He owes all of us because we all sorted that out. We did what we said we were going to do. I don't know what happened to Sally, and I want to know as much as you do. But since he can't make a vote for me, my intention was to ask him to make a vote for the two of you in payment of that. I don't know if he counts for you, but if he counts for you, we might as well ask him for that. I don't know
He's
if
not my immediate bloodline.
Right, so he would. So
he will-
then the three of you, right? Well, that's what I intended to ask him. So that's as far as I got on the being accepted front.
Perhaps we can have Miss Herc speak for you as well.
Let's hope she's still around to do that.
Then
she might speak up for you, and you're done, right?
She's already given me that guarantee that she would, due to some
Good,
other
then we-
activities I've been
And we
indulging
gotta
in.
figure that out. We gotta find her.
I reckon she'll be released when they're done with her.
And
That
probably
sounds
right.
sensible. So, speaking of being done with people, back to this Eric fellow.
Yeah.
He's still around, right?
Yeah, he is around. He's not been doing that much. Right?
You could make, let's see, maybe an intelligence and.
Oh boy.
Oh, do you have any kind of relevant academics or
Form?
streetwise? Or I'll give you a performance, but I will ramp the difficulty.
I've got to go for the performance.
Okay.
Your
Your specialty doesn't count. So intelligence and performance.
Oh boy. That always terrifies me. I've got mostly 2.
You don't know. You don't know exactly what he's up to at the moment. You have the feeling, like he's certainly not currently in a show that's on. You do have the feeling he's around, but you're like maybe something around your studio, but like you've heard his name, you've heard some things mentioned, but nothing concrete.
Well, past that I'm going. I'll see if I can find out any more. Just make it subtle, because when that blew up in college, that was a thing that was, I believe, remembered. So
That might get us a different set of folks to talk to outside of Janie and this police officer, if we can get hold of him. Or Dr. Parks.
Yeah, let's talk to the doctor, find the records, maybe try to identify the officer, and then talk to him.
The doctor had a suspicion they might have made something in the records, and if that's evidence enough, then I think we can proceed on that basis.
As someone who's dealt with this sort of thing, even if they do have suspicions, you can't say about it to anyone. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
But could you record it in the records that you're authorized
Possibly.
to look at, right?
Possibly, some don't.
Well, we gotta hope this is one of the good guys then, right?
That's all we can hope at the moment.
Alright.
On that sort of note, Velvet, Theo, I may have something to ask of both of you.
Sure.
You two are known in the more of the business world, so to speak, aren't you?
I like to think so. Sure.
Well, there's a certain person that I've come across knowledge of, and I want to know. I think he's done some shady shit.
Well, if he works in the business world, you don't need my knowledge or expertise for me to confirm to you that is surely the case.
Depends on the business, but it
really
is
doesn't.
most likely.
He's the MP for the Branbury area.
He is definitely into some shady business.
Right. You want proof of this?
Politics is totally
Absolutely.
different than
I want proof of it, and I want to.
What's his name?
Denton Fesk.
Denton. What sort of name is that?
Denton Fesk.
Fesk. That is F-E-S-K.
FeskuE.
And he's into, you reckon he's into, well, I mean, yeah, he's a politician. Of course he's in corrupt shit.
He's. He used to quite radically slash funding for the hospitals and doctors' services in the area, but I think that was a cover-up for something more, so I want to find something out.
My family has some connections in the medical industry outside of hospitals. So I could probably find out if he's getting a payoff for anything that's research related or that would key into that. I can look into it for you, sure.
I'll just put my fillers out there to see what they get.
It would be appreciated, and
Where did you say he's the MP for? Banbury.
Banbury.
Right. And that's around here.
It's one of the local areas.
Do you know anything about it?
All I know that I just think he's been up to some shady shit. He's a politician, and a Tory one at that.
I don't know what that means, but
He's a conservative piece of shit.
I don't know what that means. What is that? Right, Republican. Yeah, okay, a piece of shit. Right.
they're all lies and suits.
So that likely, well, I don't know. I'm gonna hope this doesn't lead back to my father, but who knows? Yeah, I'll look into it for you.
And the offer of help at anything is always there. I don't expect things to come for free, so if you need a favour.
I will. Let's see if I can find something for you first.
I surely didn't want to talk to you, but a private conversation. But Theodore, you were talking some time back, a little while ago, about some sort of project of your own. Did you want our help with that?
Actually, it is very much a task.
Oh, right. You got it covered, or you want help?
No, I do not have it covered.
Right.
And it is decidedly important for the city. This is the type of action that I am more concerned with completing this task than finding citizens or knights to vouch for me.
All right. So what's important then?
Yes, there is someone of the blood, kindred, that is out there. Reading, I think it was.
Is that near here?
Near London, I've been given to understand.
Alright.
This person needs to be found. And they're making it very difficult
Good
to
at
find
hiding.
them. They are from Clan Malkavian. And it would be in our best interest to start pulling our resources together and try to identify the whereabouts of this man.
Do you know the name?
Yes. Robert Weston.
Robert Weston. You know anything more about him other than that he's Malkavian?
Nothing else.
So he might be an elder or he might be...
Well, I'll tell you who's pissed off at the guy.
Who?
The prince.
Oh. Well, that is
The
interesting.
Scourge.
Oh,
That's
Knights. So we're talking...
be honest, that's a little worrying. Because, you know, if they're fucked off with people, they have it in their power to do something about it.
He is spreading slander
They're sending
about
the
the prince.
cannon fodder in to deal with this.
No one's sending me. I found out about it. If I can make it happen.
You're right. It's a good play.
Now, whether you're in or not, I will pursue this.
I'm in.
I mean as well, because
For
this,
sure.
this is big, and again,
Yes, but I have been also, do not have all the knowledge here, but I've been given to understand that he is bad-mouthing Oxfordshire, spreading slander, which is not very well seen in a place that holds tradition and respect so highly like Oxfordshire. But I am assuming, I might be wrong, that this Robert Weston fellow might be using modern means of communication to spread bad rep rumors in the kindred society. Elders are not the best when it comes to adapting to new times.
Sure as hell they're
The
not.
internet can be quite overwhelming for someone who was born a mere half century ago. The same with cellular phones and other pieces of technology. Not knowing them means that they don't know how to exploit them or how to prepare and defend themselves. So if something is spread out electronically, elders will struggle to understand the extent
well,
and the consequences.
that is Mr. Whisper. Apparently, Mr. Whisper's role in the Northern Coterie to be that with technology. So maybe I can call that room for
Maybe
that.
try find out what does Mr. Whispers know about Mr. Weston?
I can do some groundwork as well. I know a little bit about technology.
Yeah.
I probably
This is just
I
a
wouldn't
hunch.
I wouldn't call myself,
Mind.
but it's worth investigating, right?
Yeah.
And actually, it would answer the question of why they can't get hold of this person.
Yeah. Probably he's
Because
using
they-
modern means to hide himself. Now,
Right.
if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare for a very important meeting for tomorrow.
Oh, right, sure.
So, do we have any further business?
I wanted to ask you something.
Yes, sure.
It was about your sire.
Oh, yes.
Whether or not you could arrange a meeting.
I will let her know.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just thought, family get together.
Gentlemen, lady, I start making my way out.
Okay.
To get preparations. I need to find like ink and incense and
You have a lot of things to do, and a lot of the shops shut very early, it seems.
yeah.
Really?
I mean, come on. Okay, so you set off to make your preparations. Is anyone else saying anything to anyone else before the meeting of the Coterie fully ends?
I was saying as I do believe I have a map what seems to be the northern side see as the borderline. So it's probably useful for us to get, because from what I understand, that line is
In dispute.
exactly. So if we can get from multiple people what they perceive as the line, then we know whereabouts are truly disputed. And
It seems to me that the southern gatekeeper would be the best person to provide a map of where they thought the line was. Sir Holder is going to know what she thinks is her territory.
yeah, I was thinking I think get Finn as well, because Finn does their job. So again, try and get from as many sources as possible so we can just compile it all.
Well, you're best place to ask Finn, I reckon.
Yep, I will do that.
Right.
And I'm going to need to hunt tonight, so... And that sounds weird for me to say out loud. It's so weird for me to say out loud.
Well, don't let me stop you.
What's wrong with bagged stuff?
What?
Bag? What?
What do you mean? What do you mean
I never
bad
thought of that.
stuff?
I never thought
Bagged blood so you don't have to hurt another person.
I mean,
That's a thing. that can't be a
Yes.
thing, right?
Yes, that's how I do it.
I don't
What?
have access to bagged blood, so...
Like those cans of soup you see in the supermarket.
No, you know, on your hospital dramas or something when they've got the
Yeah,
drip.
Oh, I
it's-
don't watch TV. But
yeah.
I sort of get what you mean.
Yes, I just...
But isn't it like really fiddly? Because you got to keep swapping over. It's like, yeah, but what if you want more than that?
I don't need more. One or two is good for me.
Well,
I don't have access to that.
I don't know, but I can tell you there are better ways of doing it. They're more fun.
No.
Or they're more fun. Anyway,
I mean, I'll be. I'll end up probably making someone's night tonight as well. But we'll see what happens with that. It's being careful, and it's well, again use. I admire you for using that, because that's something I didn't think of. I'm not something I have access to, so you use what access you have. But it might be an pertinent time to have Master's alternate means for emergencies.
I just don't want to hurt innocent people.
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt them, right? It's fine. They're fine.
Oh, they actually seem to quite
Yeah, it's
enjoy it.
good
As long
for
as you're
them.
careful, don't
I mean,
do too much.
all right, it might not be good for their well-being, but you know they enjoy it. It's not like a huge bind on them, right?
And as well as people will give blood in blood bags, so
Right, exactly that. It's just like you were donating blood, except I'm the one deciding who gets it, right? That's all it is.
Okay.
I know it's yeah.
You don't need high insights to feel the judgment. coming
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
You could have a -1 insight and still feel it.
What is that?
We've got to do what we can. And
I
unfortunately,
agree.
I can. With where I am, there are lots of people, so I might be drunk for a little bit later, because that's the only way I can get drunk now.
Yeah, that sucks a lot. I mean, well, if you got 5 minutes, we can catch up someplace.
I'm flexible.
Have a pleasant evening. I should go and make sure I take care of myself.
Right. Have a good evening. Go make someone's night.
So you're off to hunt.
Yep.
You two are having a quick chat.
Yeah.
You are off to buy ink and other things, or are you doing something different?
Well, I'm popping by the office to get some of the resources I have there,
Yep.
if I need them. Feed, and then go on.
Ah, you're going to feed on a willing and unknowing employee.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's if you're just taking advantage of your herd, then
Of course.
no problems at all.
Wasted XP otherwise.
What? I'm hurting up, so I have time to do other stuff.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that after I talk to Joanne.
It's all part of their contract, you know.
Exactly.
So, Silas, just as a quick question to you, when you go for this hunt, are you just trying to sort of get a single sip's worth of blood, or are you actually trying to get more?
I'm gonna sort of probably spend most the rest of the time I've got time to get 2.
Okay, in that case, because you're trying to get 2, I'd like to make a hunt roll for me.
Yep.
But down, I just take 1 because I'm at hunger too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Down to 1.
As my looks
Your looks will count, yeah.
Yep. And
Pretty big.
would I be able to use presents?
You can. There is a slight danger that you will draw more attention to yourself, but you can add the dice to the pool for the hunt, for sure.
Yeah, obviously, because then there's more black dice than there is red. And that makes me feel safer. Because, things.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
I love the dramatic guy.
You know what? Because of that, I'm going to spend willpower to see if I can get it just massive amount more.
Was that a gasp of, oh my goodness, he's rolled so many successes, or a gasp
One
of...
more successes.
That's
yeah.
If that was... Oh, there's nothing.
Crit on the hunger dice. On both of
Yeah,
them.
so that is a total of 6 successes, but that is a definite messy critical as both run.
Okay.
He was trying to get other 10s that on the black
No,
dice.
as in I
To
have
offset
2
the- yeah.
on the red.
Yeah, 2 on the
Okay. So here's what happens. You, of course, as is you often have gone like with Finn in the early days or the early nights, but you basically go out to a club. You are your most charming self. You take someone probably back to theirs,
Yep.
which they agree to. You have the beginning of some kind of intimate encounter with them, which you rapidly lose patience for. Something you're realising as time goes on is, in a way, you're getting less and less from the sexual end of your kind of predatory behaviour, and actually it's more and more about the blood. And waiting, holding off when you're hungry is very difficult. So you don't hold off. And also, this person, they want to be here, and they're not going to care. You know they're going to enjoy it when you feed. You know they're not going to really remember what exactly happened. You've done this before. It is easy, so easy for you to just cut the foreplay short. You've got to a point where you're in a safe environment. You've waited long enough, some part of you says. And you bare your fangs and you feed. And you take yourself back down to hunger 1.
Yep.
And as you thought, they don't remember what happened. They just think they got a bit drunk, and they know they had a great time. And you slip away whilst they're still slightly dozy. Perfect. You've cleaned the wound, cleaned yourself, no problems. Everything is absolutely fine.
Absolute BS.
Everything is fine. Fine, I tell you.
This is why you as soon as you get...
Silas Roy Woods. Oh my god.
Oh, don't say that. So yeah, you feel very good about yourself. You feel very good about yourself, and you're down to hunger 1, no props. So you two, anyway, we're staying for chats.
Sorry. I wanted to talk to you about what happened in court.
There's a lot that happened at that course.
You caught me by surprise. When you picked up on the thing you picked up on.
I told you I've got an eye for people. I've caught you out twice before.
Well, on this particular occasion, I thought it wasn't my best version of myself that I responded to you with. And I wanted to apologize, but also I wanted to tell you about it because, well, it's not a it's not a thing. It's not going to go anywhere. But I thought you can't. It's just, sometimes it's easier if you can talk to somebody about something. You're right. I had my eye on somebody, but I was asking Theodore earlier about a meeting with his sire, That's who it is. That's who I have my eye on. So
Insight?
it's not
Got
good.
insight in that? Absolutely.
Social combat.
It's not social combat per
Whatever
se. It is. You can totally insight it. Although it's worth saying, insight will give you an emotional read, not a this is a lie, this is the truth. But you can make an insight roll. Versus manipulation, subterfuge for Velvet, and let's say resolve and insight for Joanne.
Can I apply my cover-ups to this?
Yeah. No, no, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Not really. Not really. You're not covering up a thing.
Willpower.
There's nothing makes us.
Stop stopping rolling.
Nothing makes a storyteller happier than watching the players spend willpower against each other.
Yeah, I'm spending willpower too. Fuck it.
No, don't waste your willpower.
I think it's too late
I've just
now.
done it.
It's too late.
2.
4.
So, here's the sense that you get. You get the sense that Velvet is really quite awkward about this and is emotionally stirred up. You have the sense that there's something he's not telling you. You know, you feel like there's more. There's something more to this. Something doesn't quite... It's a bit like you don't have that... When someone tells you something as a big reveal, and there's that sudden kind of light bulb moment, or, oh, it all makes sense. You haven't quite had that. You feel like there's more to this. It's not that you think he's lying, you just think he's holding out somewhere.
But you said you would keep it secret,
Of course.
and I appreciate that.
Which is why, again, I'm telling you, you don't need to lie to me.
I'm not lying to you. I'm worried because, you know, we live in a world where you don't have to have an intention or even a desire to give away someone's secret. It can just be taken from you. And that is a worrying thing. Because it means anything anyone knows about you, they have to hold over you. So I believe you. I believe you're genuine when you say that you intend to keep this secret. But you also know that I have a sire that doesn't give a good goddamn about secrets. And so it's not an easy thing for me to believe it'll stay a secret. Even though I don't think that you would do that. It's just...
I was going to put my hand on his shoulder and go, well, okay, you can keep a secret who it really is. I don't mind. Here's a secret for a secret. Denton Fesk, he's the one that killed me. So I'm going to kill him after ruining him.
Well,
it won't be a secret for much longer, but now you're in on the ground floor.
then I will absolutely help you do that. Whatever help you need from me, you can have it.
Just
If
looking
that's
into
why you
it.
said he murdered you, just like Wallace murdered me. And actually, in point of fact, those people have that coming to them. For damn sure.
I was on my usual rounds and normal patient. He came from behind me. So I saw in his eyes what I saw in Sally's and Rupert's that day, and suddenly I had a knife in the back.
Jesus Christ. I'm real sorry, John.
So I'm going to take everything he has. And I'm going to ruin him. Publicly, socially, financially.
Is he in Oxford?
Yes.
Alright. Well, why don't me and you work on that together? I feel like there's some folks in our group might not approve it, but we don't gotta tell everyone, right?
And on that handshake note, we'll take a quick break there.
Okay. So, first things first, shout outs. First one, last week of Movember. So if you're in the UK or you have the Movember app, you can look for me, Carlos Alonso, in Movember. And if not, just go and check in your area whomever is supporting Movember. Go help them, support them.
Yeah.
It's always time. Also, massive shout out to Dragon Meat. So we're going to Dragon Meat this weekend, and Saturday the 30th, and we will be there playing Arklands. So the fabulous people of Arklands have invited us to sit down with them and play. They have this amazing world they have created in 5th edition D&D, and we're gonna be playing.
Really excited for that.
If you are going to be around the London area, in Dragonmeet specifically, but if not around it, just let us know, tweet, and we will meet you.
Yeah.
In addition, with the Arklands, their Kickstarter is live.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
2 of us have backed it. I won't say how much I'm put into it.
We're backing Arklands, okay?
We're backing it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I put way too much money into it.
Okay, that's
That
a
was
lot
lame.
of money. Lane said that she put a lot of money into it.
Yep.
And I think that's a final shout out to our very own Bex for the fanfic that she it's posted
It's on the website.
in the Chantry archives. So if you want to read a little bit of fan fiction that she wrote
about my own character.
About
I wouldn't take such liberties with the others. Yeah.
Hey, do it. I love it. It's amazing.
and that's shout out time for us.
So, relationship map.
Relationship map.
Speaking state, please.
Sorry. I've been holding the
very
speaking
much.
state.
So, relationship map. We had actually a bigger update than I thought from last time round. There weren't a load of new people to add, but there have been some kind of rearrangements. So, we added Seth. We added Eugene, who was Seth's ghoul.
Eugene.
We added Seth Enolf. I probably should have added in a comment about how you contemplated pictures with him. I might go back and do that.
Well, we did not contemplate a picture. It was more of a standard that was used to,
Yes.
stab someone.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. And then we added Gareth Thomas, who is the boomkeeper. And I also, you might, those of you who looked at it before, might know or might have seen that we had the Sire's Coterie, and I renamed that to be the Southern Veeam Coterie, because we also created the Northern Veeam Coterie with Adam and Graham and Fabrice and Mr. Whispers. And obviously there's our Coterie, which is a kind of coterie in waiting. Created a new connection type, which is for Dominator, to show the relationship, the kind of domination relationship between ghouls and their Dominators. And then I did a lot of kind of repositioning on the map to kind of pull all the Ventru together, except for Adam, because we don't quite know how he fits yet.
Yeah.
But it's broadly, it's kind of the Prince at the top with the Founding Knights, and then the Officers of the Court and the other Knights, and then other kindred, and then Dustborn, and then if anyone cares about the kind, they're right at the bottom down there somewhere. Yeah.
If at all.
Yes. So yeah, have a look at that. And yeah, I think it's under Shreknet files.
The
Yes.
files, yeah.
I think
That's it?
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, before we go and jump into the questions, we still have a giveaway. Woo! So, if you are a patron or a subscriber on Twitch, and you like what Peter is holding in front of his face, and I'm not talking about his hand, that is a bona fide, original, one-of-a-kind, number 1 of 1 jewelry set made by Amis Unbalanced, otherwise known as Chris, with it's Blood on the Thames art, and you can be in it by being either a patron or a Twitch subscriber. And if you invite more people, any recommendation, any people who become a subscriber or a patron, we'll give you an additional entry to the giveaway. So the more people you bring in, the more likely you are to win that beautiful, beautiful piece of jewelry that Peter is failing to show. There we go. It's a giveaway, and it's going to happen on episode 10, which is scheduled for the 16th of December. Okay. Now, I believe we'll go to questions.
We won't go to questions, but it's been absolute chaos here. Titus taken over the Twitch chat, stolen the login, and now he is absolutely running chaos. It's horrible, but he wants to know that he misses us all, and just want to say hello and everything.
Hello.
Well, while you're watching us, Titus, I just want to say there was a beautiful moment where I thought of you recently where I got to succeed at a cost. and I felt like I'd learned something from all that time of you running Blood on the Thames. So thank you.
Channeled your inner Titus.
I did. I channeled my inner Titus.
Wait, as we're talking to us, should we all be trying to do a Plucky Jake voice?
No.
No.
At some point, I will get to meet Titus, and it will be a fulfillment of my dream.
Yeah, it'll be a magical
Yes, it'll
time.
be a magical thing.
Titus, when you meet Bex, talk like Plucky Jake the entire time. It'll be
I know
hilarious.
what Plucky Jake sounds like. I've watched it.
There is audio evidence of how much I can't do a Plucky Jake impression that exists out there. So
Yeah, but I think we need a reminder.
I agree with Callum, but not today because your throat will not take.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Okay.
That save.
All right, we have our first question. Considering the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, if your characters were Pokemon, what would they be?
I don't want to say it out loud, but people know. You know.
I do not know because I know almost nothing about Pokemon. Come to me last.
I'll start then.
Yeah, go.
So, again, considering the release of Pokemon Sword Shield, it's amazing. If you guys want to add me, I'll put my Switch friend code in the Discord or something. I would say Joanne would probably be a Gardevoir.
Oh, so you're not asking for the type, but a specific Pokemon? Because I thought I was gonna say like, yeah, mine is Psychic Dragon.
That'd be good.
Right, Lane, I'm going to regret
Shadow.
this, but you have to answer for Velvet. Because I don't know any of them. I know my personal...
Velvet would be something like Fairy Poison.
That could be.
No
The
way,
thing
it's
is
not
now.
Fairy Poison.
Yeah, that's
Fairy
discrimination.
Poison. What discrimination? No. Not that. Like, because fairies have like other like properties to charm people.
Oh, I see, okay, right.
Fairy Poison. Because you charm people, but you're destructive. That's why I go Fairy Poison.
So the people who understand
One.
will get what I mean. He's a Drifloon.
A Drifloon. Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, I'm going to Google that after
Okay,
this.
seeing as you're doing this, why don't you do something else?
Silas would be.
Gallade.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Gallade.
Someone send me a photo.
Theodore is just cool. Theodore is a Pokemon trainer.
Theodore's a Gengar.
A Pokemon.
Gengar is my personal favourite Pokemon.
Theodore's a Gengar.
You're my personal favourite Pokemon.
Thank you very much. I'm a trainer. I'm totally a trainer.
Okay, next question. People want to know, when will Titus guest star?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
That is a great question. It's a question I've been asking Titus sometimes. Like, hey, the only thing is Manchester and Bristol are not that close together.
Yeah, they happen to be kind of far apart.
But essentially, the answer to that question is: as soon as Titus can come down to Bristol, Titus will guest star.
Or as soon as someone sends Titus a teleportation device.
Yeah, as soon as someone teleports Titus to
So
Bristol.
if you want to see us getting Titus here on a teleportation device, follow us on Patreon and help us reach our $7 billion milestone for a teleport. No? Don't we have that as a goal? I said it. We totally
We'll
did that.
change the goals. We'll add it. We'll
Yeah,
add it.
because that's the one that comes right before my spaceship.
Yeah.
Come on.
Son of an astronaut.
Okay, let's not get bosses married.
Yeah.
Any more for any more, Callum, or should we press on?
There's a couple of odd questions. 1 second. Have you seen the results of the Ghoul polls?
Of the what? What?
Of the Ghoul polls? Not sure what that is. I think
Oh.
Mitch is hiding it from us.
No, I think, but we don't have access to
No,
any.
we
of
don't
the-
get told
I
that.
don't guess, yeah.
We don't have access to the Ghoul disaster Ghoul
Yeah.
Discord. So the votes and the polls and things that you do on the Discord are pretty much
unknown to us.
unknown to us. I saw someone put a poll on their Twitter a few weeks back, but it was like a normal stuff. It was not one of the Tamesis related. So no, sadly no.
Nope.
It's not our fault.
I think that's mostly it for questions at the moment.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Callum.
Okay. So, I believe I'm right in saying we kind of come to the end of the Coterie meeting and that last conversation. So you went out for your feed. Silas, and then Theodore. You also had a successful feed,
I just went for the drive-through.
and you've done a bit of preparation. I'm going to skip towards the Wednesday, the 5th of December, unless anyone is like, but wait, I have some. You need to eat.
Yeah.
And how is Velvet going to eat?
Obviously, I'll use my herd.
Obviously, you're going to use your herd. And when Theodore says herd, he means his employees. And when Velvet says herd,
I mean my
he
family.
means his family.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's okay because you mean your in-laws, right? So that makes it
Yeah,
okay.
sure. Among others.
All right.
And I'm the monster.
And how much are you draining your in-laws?
Yeah, because you're meeting them like the following day or something. On
No,
the
I'm
Sunday
not
or
going
something.
to Sunday lunch, obviously.
And
To
here's
have
our
to do
tradition-
in the afternoon. Yeah, I'm not going to that. Yeah,
Yeah, but you will arrive slightly later at like 4 after sundown.
Yes, exactly.
And then
Yeah.
feed on.
So I think probably let's go with one for now, because if they're all in a group at Sunday lunch, that's not going to be that helpful.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of how many levels of hunger are you? Because you can
Oh,
slake
yes,
up
yeah.
to your herd level in
Oh, yes.
hunger.
Okay, well in which case,
This is
2. If I can.
okay. Yeah, because that'll take you down to hunger 1.
Yep.
All right. You have there is some family interaction. You don't really recall it, but the blood is good. The blood is good. And that's the important thing. All right, so Wednesday the 5th of December comes around, and
I assume I have spoken with Miyuki and know what's the place she has.
yeah, she'll have told you all the details. She, of course, will be there anyway, and she'll take you. So she's hired a private room, which she feels has the right kind of ambience for the tea ceremony.
Okay.
You obviously will have time before Sir William arrives to prepare the space any way you wish, and she will have got anything you require, and you, of course, have your own materials that you kind of brought with you from Japan. So what I'm going to say is, if you want to give some kind of sense of how you will change the room, or any particular things of importance you wish to be there for when Sir William arrives,
Yeah,
go
not
for it.
massively. I want to go with the very spirit of the tea ceremony, so it's very minimalist.
Yep.
Pretty much a barren room with an ikebana flower arrangement on a corner, something Miyuki probably can help me with.
Yes.
And incense for the antechamber.
Yep.
And a scroll in which I will write a passage of autumn,
Okay.
about autumn. It's like, because it's November, right? So
It's December.
it's December.
Yeah, it's the 5th of
approaching-
December.
Approaching winter, yeah. So sort of like that. I will write the base, like the scroll in Japanese, and then write it in English, so they can just sit side by side.
Yes.
That's everything you need. It's just that, the ikebana, the incense, and the tea. I'm gonna go for a thick, higher quality tea, because the one drinking it is Miyuki, so she's worth it.
Oh.
So also, it's the most appropriate for the winter.
Okay. So you have everything in place. Sir William will arrive, and a man in a suit who is quite unattractive will turn up and will come to the room, will introduce himself, and just ask to inspect the room, which assumedly you'll allow him to do.
Yes, absolutely.
He'll do a quick sweep of the room, seems happy, will leave. Not long afterwards, Sir William will arrive.
Yeah, and the moment I have that cue, I put the coals in for the fire, or boiling the water, start making the arrangements and instruct, and tell Miyuki that she's also going to be a guest from now on.
Yes.
So she will be assisting me, but as a guest.
As a guest.
So I let her sit down and read the scroll, and while preparations happen with the incense. So when Sir William comes, I can tell him sort of like what's the purpose of the previous preparation.
So Miyuki slips into this role very easily. And there is a nice atmosphere. It feels right. You have a good vibe about this when Sir William comes in. And he's dressed pretty much as you've always seen him, smartly dressed. And the smartness and the crispness of his clothes are at odds with the ancient, shriveled nature of his flesh. But he enters, looks around curiously, and will say, "Good evening."
Good evening, Sir William. If I may, and I gesture for him to, if he has like a coat or a hat or whatever, so I can.
He does have a coat.
Away,
yeah.
And all of that. And then I take off my shoes, put on the geta, and go in.
Okay.
So just showing him the way without leading him. It's just.
Yeah, he'll pick up on your cue and he'll follow suit. You're aware that he doesn't move very quickly when he comes into the room. I mean, not that you're rushing, but he has a slow kind of vibe normally. So you bring him in, and he kind of waits in the room.
Yeah, in the sort of like in the waiting area, before entering into the room, I will give him a chair.
Okay.
Not a very low chair, but something that can be comfortable in. There will be some incense.
Yeah.
And the scrolls. And I start with telling immediately about the tradition, the type, what is done when you come in. Like the ceremony has not started. This is just preparation.
He will listen with interest. He'll say, "This is the first time I've done something like this."
Well, the whole objective of this waiting room is to first clear your mind of mundane concerns.
Ah.
The tea ceremony seeks to bring about inner peace and harmony. And it's one of the three arts in doing it, together with that of incense and aromatic purification, and that of flower arrangement, which you will appreciate once we go inside.
I see.
It is. There are many variations on the tea ceremony, yes, with traditions, and there are two main types of ceremony. One conducted in the autumn and winter months, which is the one I will be conducting, and another one for the spring and summer.
Ah. Are you saying that I should experience a tea ceremony in the summer as well?
Absolutely.
I see.
The type of tea, the ceremony itself, and the emotions surrounding it are slightly different. It's very nuanced, but if done properly, they can feel very different. Now, in Japanese culture, the height of a tea ceremony is done, of course, during noon with several guests, up to 5. But I had seen elders in Japan perform midnight tea ceremonies, which is the one we want to do here, given your status and standing in Oxfordshire. You deserve no less.
He accepts this as absolutely the case.
Okay. So while I make the final arrangements, it'll take but a few minutes. I will leave you here to enjoy the smell and the quiet. And there is something written in these scrolls, so you can meditate, if you will, or at least think about them. Nothing profound, something that draws inwards, something like the acknowledgement of the passing of the seasons, and now it's winter and what it means. But it's more like a question to yourself. So nothing massive.
Very well. So he goes to reading the scrolls. You start doing your preparations.
I go inside, do my preparations, and then I come out and call them both.
Okay, so they will both come into the room. And assumedly, you will direct them in terms of where they sit.
Also, like Miyuki would be like taking lead as the one who would be receiving it first, but he will be the one receiving the honor.
Yes, understood. So you include him as part of the ceremony, but you make the tea for Miyuki, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. So.
I rouse.
Okay. You just say you're going to rouse regardless. All right. So this is going to be.
Reroll.
This is going to be I think probably composure.
Yes.
Because it's about maintaining calm in a space.
It's either that or resolve. Either the focus.
Yeah, I can see arguments for both.
Yeah, I would do it on composure because I know already Miyuki is in that mindset,
and
I just want to project it to him.
And it will be perform, and your specialty of tea ceremony will apply. Yay! For perhaps the first and only time in the whole Chronicle.
Well, 7 sessions in. That more often than other skills I have.
Miyuki counts as assisting you, and you'll get an automatic success.
Yes. So you got 1 success.
Come on, dice.
And the willpower. That is a total of 3 successes.
Okay.
Counting Miyuki's.
Nice. Well, to be fair, 3 successes is still a very respectable amount of successes
that
for
is
this.
exactly what I was not thinking. After rolling like what felt like 10 dice.
So.
And only getting 2 successes.
You perform the ceremony and everything goes very smoothly. It feels like...
Don't go hungry.
Okay. It feels like... Sir William, I mean, it's hard to read him, you know, you don't know how much he's enjoying it or not enjoying it, but he certainly seems respectful of it and doesn't detract from the mood in any way. And then the time comes where Miyuki, of course, is having tea, and the ceremony is coming towards a kind of close, and it is Sir William's turn to then feed upon Miyuki to kind of get that sense of her calm, which he does. And what I'm going to ask you to do is now make a composure and etiquette roll. This is not because you're not going to go into frenzy or anything, but the sight of him feeding on, for you not to react in any way to seeing somebody else feed on Miyuki is difficult. You rouse. Okay.
Willpower. I don't want no messy critical.
Oh, you've made Lane sad.
Yeah, because that's my goal.
Made Lane happy.
I don't
7 successes, messy critical.
Okay. Okay. Well, given that the effort here, did you go hungry on the rouse, by the way?
No.
Okay.
something.
So I think because the thing is, what you're trying to do here is you're trying not to give anything away. You're trying not to show anger that he's daring to feed on Miyuki. You're trying not to show worry for what's happening. Because obviously there's a bit of you that's worried that he is not going to look after Miyuki. Maybe he'll like it too much. Maybe he will have different attitudes about how long it's okay to feed her. Maybe he thinks she's disposable. Who knows? Not you. And not knowing is difficult. And keeping that sense of calm and peace outwardly, when all of these things are churning inside you, is difficult. Your beast is becoming agitated. You do not want anything to happen to Miyuki. You can see his fangs puncturing her flesh. You know that he is drawing blood from her. Now, you have fed a number of times, and you fed sometimes for longer times, sometimes for shorter times. You know how much you can feed safely. And he certainly doesn't just feed for a few moments and stop. He keeps going. And that's where things get really difficult, because a bit of you So your messy critical does not result in you baring your fangs or doing anything, because you're trying not to do that. But the effort of holding your beast in check and keeping it all in drives your hunger up. And so you are going to gain a level of hunger as a result of the messy critical. Nevertheless, you do manage to hold yourself in check. And around the time where you're starting to think, okay, even feeding gently, even feeding a little, we are reaching a point where this does not feel safe anymore. He finally retracts his fangs. One of the things that strikes you as well is that Sir William's fangs seem larger than most other kindred fangs you've seen. Not maybe as large as the glimpse you got of the princes, but certainly they seem like more animal-like than just vampire fangs. But nevertheless, when he seals the wound, as you've sealed the wound, the puncture marks go. Miyuki is kind of limp in his arms, but when he begins to kind of take his arms away, she composes herself enough to stop herself from falling. But she's very woozy, but she is... After a few moments, all of that goes away. She's sitting as if she is fine. She is not fine, but there is no sign of it outwardly. You see her in that moment recover perfectly. And Sir William says, "It is a most excellent tea."
Glad. Did you enjoy it?
I did very much. He says, and it is most calming.
The ritual of tea brings the mind to a stop, to appreciate what we have around us. And that's when I gesture around us, I slightly hover my hand in the direction of the only adornment in the whole room, the Ikebana flower arrangement, so he can now that he's at peace, he can appreciate that it's the only one thing, but he's in peace, in harmony with the rest of the ensemble. It just enhances it by not being decorative. It is just accentuating the mood.
So he takes a respectful moment to admire it. And then he says, "Yes, I think I would like to undergo this ceremony again in the summer." And his eyes do drift towards Miyuki. He smiles. Miyuki very demurely averts her eyes. Now, he says, "Perhaps we should discuss a little business."
Absolutely. But I start putting things away, and I tell him, but I believe this is not business. You have a request and I'm your subject, so ask away.
Aptly put, Theodore. I have explained to you that there is a matter of a sale being complicated. It is a matter of law and covenants, I'm given to understand. He says, and though it seems to me like it is something that could easily be signed and dealt with, he says, and my people have drawn up the relevant contracts. He says, those individuals that are looking after this estate and this matter are refusing and throwing up all manners of obstacles and arguments and being very difficult. It is all business of the modern world. He says, these new knights seem full of detail. The letter over the spirit, if you will. And I'm sure you, and he gestures to the kind of the remains where you tied it away, that he said, appreciate that it is the spirit that is most important.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you have the necessary skills to bypass those letters in some fashion. Because I will have my people leave the contracts if you wish to have a copy for yourself to take to get signed in some way. Or he says, I don't mind how it is dealt with, so long as it is dealt with swiftly. It has been a frustrating irritation in what is otherwise a very successful venture. But of course, until that one thing is resolved, then there is nothing. I suppose it is like the story of the princess and the pea. Though there are many, mattresses of great comfort. So long as there is a single pea, it is impossible to sleep fitfully and well. As I say, I will leave the details with you, and I look forward to it being resolved.
Yes, leave it with me. I will try to lift their spirits.
Perfect. And now I also look forward to the summer.
Absolutely. I'll try to start making arrangements to get the necessary things for then.
For the first time in many years. Well, good evening to you. And Miyuki curtsies.
Then I just accompany him outside with his coat and hand over his stuff.
And
until he leaves.
And he will leave.
And then I run to Miyuki.
Yeah, so once like the door's shut and he's gone, she just sort of folds
to the side.
To the side, yeah. And you kind of catch her. She says,
You okay?
I don't like him. His bite's too hard.
Sorry.
And he's greedy. He took too much.
I know.
I'm tired now.
I know. I'll take care of you. It's like, now you're taking advantage of me.
She's not... I think he took a lot of blood. We must keep me healthy.
What do you want?
Pancakes.
You have earned them. Bacon and maple syrup for you, girl.
I might make it through now. So you proceed with the pancakes. So the details that you get. So the property that he wants is 370 to 521 Planner Road, which is in West Oxford. And
370 to 521?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a solicitors called Abbott and Porter that are looking after the property. And the name of the man, if you like, that is looking over this is someone called Kevin Rawlins, who works for the solicitors firm. And he is the one that it seems Sir William has been frustrated by, because he's not just signing the bloody contracts.
But he's a solicitor or the owner?
He's a solicitor.
Who owns the place?
So the
according to the contract.
Well, it's actually being held in perpetuity
By the firm.
by the firm.
So the firm owns it.
So the firm owns it, yes, because it wasn't handed down to anyone specific. But there are certain covenants in place in terms of how the property can be used. So although the property can't be, although the firm sort of look after it, they can't sell it technically. And if they do sell it, they have to sell it in very specific ways. They can't just... So, for example, Sir William wants to turn it into part of a larger business venture. They're not allowed to sell the property for that. They're saying there are covenants in place. However, you will see a lot of correspondence that's gone back and forth. It looks like most things legal. I mean, no, Theodore's no expert, but it looks like there is argument to be had. But the solicitors are being very adamant and difficult. Unhelpful from Sir William's point of view, for sure. So how you want to handle that is up to you. If you have immediate ideas, I will be interested to hear them, but if not, I'll come back to you.
Come back to me, because my ideas are not immediate without being called like a monster or something.
But people love calling you a monster. You should totally be a monster.
I'm a teddy bear who's going to be making pancakes. I just perform a tea ceremony. Come on. Oh, wait. I think.
Girl.
So for torturing, intimidation is the skill, right?
I would say probably, yeah. You can make an argument for medicine, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
you come back to me later.
but probably intimidate.
Right, Tiger.
All right. So, you were trying to arrange a meeting with Janie Harris. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna. What my intention was to get my secretary to arrange a meeting off the front of being, you know, basically Silas has, you know, been hired to investigate on behalf of the studio some of the things that might have happened in, like, you know, recent times, and that we'd like to come over and see her.
So you want your secretary to
I wanted, yeah,
pretend to be...
sure, why not?
So you...
Yeah.
Okay, so you want your secretary to, like...
My secretary, I'm sure, is very good at pretending to be lots of things to get me lots of stuff. It's like this is like what I pay her to do.
Okay. Are you willing to use disciplines on your secretary?
Sure, yeah.
Then your secretary will agree to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely France.
One of the things that also strikes you, of course, is when you really turn on the charm these days, works better than ever.
This is so satisfying.
And she seems to be, you know, somehow it turns from this imposition
Yeah.
into a kind of fun thing you're doing, you know, like, because, you know, it's so much more fun than the normal work she has to do. It's almost like being a spy, she'll tell you,
Well,
you know.
it's one of the many rewards that you can get from working for Riley Court.
Yeah. All right. So she will be trying to get in touch with Janie Harris and organise a meeting, and she will tell you that Miss Harris is being resistant. Like, she's asking lots of questions, and she doesn't really want to have a meeting about this sort of stuff.
Oh well, that's annoying. Probably I'll have to get round there then.
I mean, you do know her address, so you can just pitch up on her door if you want to.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. I won't go around there without checking in with everybody else first.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah. So, is anybody doing anything before Saturday, the 8th of December?
I will go and check out Webley Road.
You're going to go to Webley Road.
Just check it out.
It was easy to go. So Webley Road is it's in town. It is near. It's basically where you start moving into a residential area, coming out of the city. It looks like a pretty ordinary road to you. There are street lights, seem to be in good working order. There is lots of... It's the kind of road where it's not double yellow lines, and so everyone has like packed their cars in like sardines to make the most of the space on both sides.
Right.
But otherwise, it's a relatively quiet road in which some people who probably have a lot of money have homes. Because although these aren't very big homes, they're very close to town. You can stroll straight in really easily from here.
Yeah.
It's not the fanciest area in the world, but it's not cheap to live here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a well-lit, residential, fairly close to town road. Anything else Silas is looking to learn about it?
Just trying to figure out how the hell he's going to take out all these lights.
Well, Silas actually probably knows a little bit about wiring and lighting and things like that. Sabotaging each of these lights individually could be problematic, but it's not something that he's unequipped to do. You have the tools if you want to bring them. Mm-hmm. You could try and search for some kind of more, general line.
Yeah,
but that's going to be harder to get to because obviously they're.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll have a look for more general line thing.
Okay, I don't think you have any kind of electronics or engineering specialties, but I would say this
engineering.
Then I'll let you can roll with that specialty.
Yep. So.
And I'll let you make it under resolve, I think.
So resolve and Results in science?
Yeah, for science.
Science!
Yeah.
So this is a roll basically to try and isolate a good place to sabotage the streetlights.
Willpower?
Spend that willpower. Yeah, you find it. Takes you a little while, but you're not in a rush. And you have enough crafts, I believe, that if you wish to, between your crafts and your science, if you wish to sabotage it, you can.
Yep.
The only issue is not being noticed.
Yep.
But apart from that, you think you can do it. Question is, when do you want to do it? And if you want to do it.
Yep. I will see if I can get in contact with then see if I can get in contact with the messenger to get a thing to Sir Gansuk for a precise date that he wants them down.
Are you going to ask Finn to get in contact with the messenger?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is trivial to happen. The messenger will come to you, and she will say, "Hello, Silas. What's your message?"
Sir Gansuk wanted me to has asked me to do a little task with him. I can do it. I just need a precise date for that he would like it to happen.
So you wish me to deliver a message that asks, "What is the precise date for your task?"
Yes, please.
Of course, I'll do that right now.
Thank you very much.
She goes. You will be aware when she leaves via Finn. Finn has some interaction with her, and you think he gives her something, and then she goes. So, yes, Velvet.
Sorry, I forgot about this. I need to give Seth his gun back, so it's not in the drawer of my car. You don't need to do this as a scene if you want to, but I will have found a
teach you how
time
to
do
use
that.
it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trivial action.
Fine.
You return Seth's gun, not a problem.
Yeah.
He will almost be like, damn, I forgot where I put that. Like he's totally chill about it. All right, so the message will come back to you about a night later from the messenger. So Druti will come back to you, and she says, "So Gansuk said to tell you before the year is out."
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Good. And then she goes.
Nice and specific.
You have a month.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm cruising towards Saturday the 8th of December. Any more for any more?
I want to start. So I've now been given my blood task.
Yes.
I want to start
Your BTT.
locating the person that I've had dealings with before.
So when you say the person you've had dealings with before, are you thinking about a particular individual who once ended up on your operating table, who had a bit of a dicey past?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you intending to locate this person? So, for example, one option is you can look up their medical records, and assuming they haven't moved, and whatever, you can use that to find out the area they live in, or you can pursue other routes. What would you like to do? You know there are people who don't like them, who might be able to tell you more. It's entirely up to you.
I think I'm gonna look up the medical records and then kind of text Velvet and clue him into what I'm doing.
Okay.
Saying a text something like, "I'm investigating someone unrelated, but may need your help to find them."
Okay. Do I receive this text?
You do.
Okay. Then I will text back and say, "Yeah, sure thing. Let me know what I can do to help."
Get a clarifying one that 2 minutes later, like Denton, but on more innocent people.
So I'll text back.
Yeah.
Is your intention with this person the same as it is with Denton?
Blood tax?
Ah, okay. I'll text back and say, I will speak to Rupert. because I think he can probably help with this.
Okay, so you find out when it's relatively trivial for you to dodgily look into some medical records. One question, you're back to work, assumably, to do this. You're still on 2 aggravated. So you're fine as long as you don't have to, like, run or do anything where you're physically exerting yourself
I'm
under
research
scrutiny.
now. I'm not an active surgeon anymore.
Indeed.
So.
I'm just saying that while the risk is minimal, there is a risk in certain unlikely circumstances. Like if there was a fire alarm or something, possibly. Or someone said, there's an emergency, we've got to get to X, and you like, doopy-doo. You know, that would, that would seem odd. But otherwise, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I assume you're not healing any of that aggravated at the moment, right? No. So you get these records. So the guy's name is Shane Whitehead. And he is 39 years old. In fact, very close to 40 at this point.
Close to becoming a pensioner.
I was going to say.
There's going to be some explosions going off in chat, I'm sure.
Disliking this.
The 40-year-old pensioner
exactly.
is a staple.
It's a running gag, yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure Tyrus is wrecking.
When we watch the VOD, he will have his revenge, I'm sure.
Oh.
All right, so you have an address for Shane, and actually the thing that will strike you is he doesn't live that far away from the Thin Bloods that you dealt with.
Wantage.
Not their new address, as in the original address you located them in.
Wantage.
In Wantage. World of Darkness, Wantage.
Which actually, you made it justice, apparently.
I am reliably informed.
Someone who
by-
lived in the area
Yes.
around, what was it, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Said that actually you made it look...
Apparently I made it look better than it actually was. But
Yeah, it's on the comments on the YouTube.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, anything else? Theodore, have you any thoughts about your intended...
Yeah, I think I want Kevin Rawlings to be my solicitor.
Okay.
Sorry, I phrased that wrong. I want that solicitor to work for me.
Okay.
Basically, I want to friendly convince him
Yes.
through the use of my disciplines
Okay.
that actually he should be looking into ways of going around those covenants and just selling.
All right. So are you? Am
I don't want any
Am I to understand you're going to walk into his office and then persuade him in a?
in a forceful manner over the course of time.
And when you say using your disciplines, do you mean you're going to?
The run the gambit. Let me dominate everything and anything I need. But if the thing is, what I want him is for him to be afraid of having that property,
Okay.
and I want him to get rid of it legally.
So it seems to me that there are several options available to Theodore in this area. So one is that he could use his dominate to just be like, okay, you are now going to sign this form. You're now going to do these things.
Yeah, but the thing is that he could always say that he was under coercion or stuff. So I want him to be the one giving me...
If you are going to do a more kind of subtle or elaborate conversations that take place over time.
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Because I want... First, I don't want any legal repercussions for Sir William. Second, I want the law firm to get rid of this.
Yep. So how about...
Because they want to.
How about this? I don't think...
And I don't have money to offer.
I don't think this is
the only one.
I don't think this is a project. I think this is just a scene.
Okay.
Getting an appointment to see this man is very easy to do. You can just book an appointment and go in and see him. So what I want to do, if you just give me a flavour of the kind of thing, like 2 minutes with Theo, you know, an idea of what it's like, and then
my elevator pitch starts with. It's going to start, and you can use it as a segue to the conversation immediately, with Theo sitting down and saying the names of his wife and kids and his address.
You're trying to say this, I'm not a monster.
Do I have your attention? And that's how we can start the scene.
So upon naming...
I'm not the monster.
No. I know the name of his wife and his kids. We might be childhood friends, okay?
So, upon naming his family members, you do indeed have his attention. Interestingly, he actually takes off his glasses and lays them on the desk to stare at you. And then you begin persuading him that actually he wants to get rid of this property and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Basically, I represent someone who can help you with this burden of this property that is just tied with such covenants. And I mean, it is an inconvenience for you. It is very desirable for the people I represent.
As you...
It could be dangerous for those who do not cooperate. I mean...
As you speak to him, obviously it's a late night appointment, one of his last of his day.
Yeah.
And he has a lamp that kind of casts especially good light on the desk itself. But it seems somehow that the light doesn't cast especially well upon you. Even that in some way, even as you're leaning forward, still the shadows fall across your face, giving you a more threatening air, perhaps,
Absolutely.
than you might otherwise have. And he does look at you once, but he quickly looks away again. I would like you to make him you can roll if you want for extra successes, or you can take a standard success.
Well, it depends on what the pool is.
It's going to be, I believe, manipulation and intimidate plus 2 dice.
Halved?
Halved for your, yeah.
That would be 4 successes.
So you're going to take it, or you're going to roll? It's a strong pull. It's a good success.
It's a good success. It's basically simple stuff. Find how to do away with those covenants, or find a way to circumvent them, and then you will find a very eager buyer and most forgiven.
He indeed sets to work on this as quickly as he can. And indeed, over the next few nights, he reports back that he's made good progress. And did you know, now that he's looked into it, there is a thing, because actually the covenant, if you take it in a certain kind of way, does happen to mean exactly what the buyers were actually talking about all the time. And things get signed.
So the night I deliver I take the contract with me for signing, and everything is done, I shake his hand and tell him, you have done the right thing. Now, if anyone messes with your wife or your child, call this number. Now you have a friend.
He takes the card in a shaking hand, but thanks you profusely.
Yeah, he's one of Miyuki's burners.
Sure.
I don't have. I think I only have one phone. It's because Miyuki's dangerous if I don't grab it.
So, as a result of all of this, obviously things are going to happen. It'll take time for everything to go through, but things have been signed. You are given to understand that Sir William is pleased.
Okay, I make arrangements to deliver the contract after signed to whomever he deems appropriate, because he's a very busy man.
All of that happens very smoothly, and you think, as a result of all of this, should you wish Sir William's favour in something not too major, then you can call it.
Brilliant. It's okay. In the meantime, since I'm working with acquisitions and procurement and all of this, I kickstart my project with Miyuki and my company.
Okay. So in terms of that, you're basically going to be trying to grow your company.
Yes.
As a project.
We're gonna get some stuff.
Yeah. So I'll come back to you in a moment on that one, just because I want to do a few bits with other people. So, Saturday the 8th of December. Oh, sorry, Silas, just briefly, did you say you are going to take out the lights, or were you still thinking about what to do?
I'm not going to take out the lights just yet.
Okay. You just let me know whenever you want to commit the act of sabotage, and I'll
December
get back to you.
25th.
So, Joanne, you have got back from a night of research. It's on Saturday the 8th. No, sorry, I lie. You're getting ready to go to work. when there is a knock at the door.
Barnaby, where have you been?
Barnaby is currently in the flat.
Okay.
With his girlfriend?
Oh yeah, he squats on your place.
He says,
The worst sire ever.
"Are you expecting someone?"
Not particularly. The messenger knows I live here. It's possibly her.
Oh, let's hope it's not her. He goes to the door. I assume you have a spy hole.
Yeah.
He says, "No, it's too old."
Well, that's a good sign. Immediately open the...
As you're heading towards the door, he says, I'll be in your room, okay?"
Fine.
So he goes into your room, shuts the door as you're... Are you looking through the hole or are you opening the door?
Opening it.
All right. So there is a woman on the other side of the door. She looks to be, you would think maybe late 50s. She's wearing quite a thick cardigan and coat and a scarf against the cold, which has got some floral designs on it. It's a woolen scarf. She's white. She has brown hair that is obviously dyed brown. It's quite a striking, rich brown that does not match her eyebrows in any sense. And for a moment, it's like someone random there, and then you suddenly realise you know who she is. So her name is Patty Christie, and she is August's mum. You haven't seen her, obviously, in quite... I mean, you didn't ever see her that often, but you'd met her once before. She is kind of she's holding her hands in front of her, and you can see she's got quite an old-fashioned gold wedding band on a finger, which she is sort of twiddling slightly nervously.
Are you okay? Come in.
Oh, thank you. She comes in.
Yeah.
Says, "I'm sorry to turn up unannounced.
No problem.
I was a little worried that well, I wasn't sure you'd take my call, to be honest. Oh, this is very difficult. I don't suppose I could ask you for a cup of tea, could I?
No, go ahead. I'll go to the kitchen and start making one.
Do you still have tea-making things in your kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I've got to keep a semblance of something.
Yep.
If not to stop myself going mental.
Okay. You make her a cup of tea, which she'll take. Are you offering her a seat or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll sit down. She'll sip at her tea. There's that sort of slightly awkward silence that stretches a bit. How are you?
It's been a tumultuous few months, I'm not going to lie. Work's difficult, but...
Well...
What can you do?
I suppose there must be difficult with all those cuts and things going on.
Yes, I've taken a pay cut just to... There's junior doctors that need the pay more than me, so...
Goodness. It's a terrible state of affairs, isn't it? Well... I should start by saying August doesn't know I'm here. I think she probably wouldn't be happy about it. But I didn't know what else to do.
Well, I'll do what I can. You...
All right. Well, there's no easy way to say this. She's at Churchill Hospital. She's been there a while, and well, oh dear. She sips at her tea some more. She has liver cancer, and the prognosis isn't very good. And well, I understand that. Well, I know that you're not an oncologist, but that you've been involved in groundbreaking procedures before, and I feel like the doctors who are looking, they're very nice, but I feel like they're very pedestrian in their approach, and I was wondering if you could look into things, look into her case, because they're saying she doesn't have that long the way things are looking, and they're saying there isn't anything to be done, and I was thinking, well, that maybe you would know a specialist, or you would be able to do something. I'm sorry to put this on you.
So I'm immediately in my head cycling through, who do I know? Who can I get on this now?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's not like you know tons of oncologists, but you do. You obviously you read up on the latest stuff, and you know there are people piloting various things around. Obviously, not all in the UK necessarily, but you do know there are people you can approach or ask.
So during this time, she's just kind of like very visually just thinking, and probably silent for maybe like 5 minutes while she's very, very visually just going.
I was also wondering if you wouldn't mind paying her a visit.
Yes.
I know that things didn't. I know that things didn't work out with the two of you. She wouldn't want me to tell you this either, but I think you should know. I think you have a right to know. She's had this diagnosis for a while now.
Is that why?
That's why she didn't accept your proposal. She didn't have a... I said she should have told you. I said you'd understand. You're a doctor, of course you'd understand. But she said that, well, she said it wasn't right to embark on a life when you didn't have a life. Anyway, don't tell her I said anything. I think it would mean a lot to her if she could see you.
I'm going tomorrow. I had things to do that they don't matter. I'm going tomorrow.
Thank you. And if there's anything you can do, the thing is, she has nothing to lose. So if you don't find anything, it's not like things have got worse. But if anything you can find or anything you can do, then
I'm going to put everything I have. This. You came to me because you know I still care for her, right?
Yes, and because you're the only one I think that could help my little girl.
I'm going to do everything I can.
She'll put her tea down and in an un-British moment rush forward and embrace you.
I've blushed to life way before this, because
yeah,
I'm dealing with a human, of course I am.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm good.
You successfully mimic a human body as you embrace her, and she will do one of those things where she sort of starts crying but very immediately stops crying again, and then says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." In a very British way. So, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to throw this all on you, and perhaps I should have come sooner. I don't know. I've been beside myself. But
you've come, and that's what's important. Thank you for telling me.
I know that you cared for each other a great deal, and if there's anyone that can do anything, it will be you. And if you can't, then at least you'll see her, and she'll see you, and you won't regret it for the rest of your days.
Oh, you can see right through me. You always could.
She smiles. Well, I'm not so clever and educated like you, but I do know a couple of things. It's the benefit of age, you know.
Well, I'm going to go get to my people now. I'll let you know as soon as anything comes up. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, Joanne. Thank you. Oh, let me write you down a number in case you need to call me.
I'm going to give her the number I've only given to the Thin Bloods before.
Okay.
Because this is more important than literally anything else now.
All right, so she'll take the number. She'll thank you again and leave you to it.
And for the rest of the night, I'm literally just going to sit there and stew.
Okay, good stuff. So that is Saturday the 8th of December. Sunday the 9th of December is family time. So,
My favourite kind of time.
Silas, your parents are coming up for the day.
Yep.
Being your parents, they are going to want to make the most of the day because they're early risers. And they like to get in the hours, you know. Are you going to try and dissuade them from coming in the morning? Because they're driving up in the morning, obviously. You all know that.
I will dissuade them from going directly to me. I will encourage them to enjoy the other sites around Oxford. And of course, I will meet them as soon as I can in the evening.
Oh, in the evening, Silas?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, unfortunately, we are very busy. It's a.
Oh, I suppose that's like your breakfast time now, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, we'll see you for dinner then.
Yes.
Are you cooking, or are we going to go out somewhere?
I think we'll probably go out somewhere.
Oh, that's nice. Well, we'll leave you to choose the place. You could pick us up from the hotel, maybe. Then your dad can have a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice. Or do you want to get a taxi? Because you might want to have a drink too, I suppose.
I'm fine.
So professional. So, you're going to meet them in the evening.
Yeah.
So sunset, as I say, is around 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday lunch is around
I'm
2:30.
not going to that. Like, the earliest I can get there from sunset is when I will aim to get there. I assume I've spent the night with Adam because I won't have slept at this house. Otherwise, someone will have got me up for lunch.
Sure. Yeah, you're clearly not sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so-
sleeping in the secret love nest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not with your family.
Yeah,
God.
So, so you and
I have done nothing bad.
Neither have I. Shut up.
I like everyone's like I've done. I'm the good one here. So anyway,
Coterie. How about the door?
It's not. There's nuances to that you just don't understand.
so just as a quick
Yeah.
thought, your trysts with Adam, whilst he's loving them,
Yeah.
increasingly, like you love spending time with him,
Yeah.
but the physical component of it, you are faking, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
You are going through the motions to some degree, and the bit that is increasingly exciting is the prospect of his blood. Now you know, because Wallace will have taught you, you know that it is not without risk to drink the blood of another vampire.
I mean, I will be doing that at some point. It's fair.
You are going to drink.
do that.
Okay, so there's this weird
It's really
thing.
just a question of whether or not I warn him ahead of time.
Okay. Well, it's certainly not something that Adam will talk. He hasn't talked to you about it. You don't talk to him about it. But it is something that is increasingly in your kind of love play,
Yep.
where you will, that kind of that will you, won't you, and most of the time, and you haven't so far.
Yep.
But probably around. Let's say you haven't actually fed on him yet,
Okay.
but it's got to the point where you're pretty sure it is going to happen.
Yep.
And you are both teetering on that line. There's that kind of thing where your fangs rest on each other's necks. And almost like daring one of you to be first. But so far, neither of you have broke.
Okay.
And that in itself is actually a kind of exquisite pleasure. The knowing that you could have it and it's that close, but you don't.
Yeah.
Knowing that he could.
Yeah.
Trying to see who's going to crack first, that is quite thrilling. That gets you through the bleak sex.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you will... The blood will slowly kind of begin to flow again after the sun has set on Sunday. And you kind of come back to yourself, and it is... You come from a dreamless, death-like state back into yourself. And it takes you a moment to kind of even realise what day it is and that it is Sunday and that there's stuff.
I've got to do that thing.
Can you just make a quick rouse check when you wake? Silas, you might as well because it's
Fail.
excellent. Can you make a rouse check for me, Silas? Now, I'm going to rudely assume that both of you are blush of lifing today.
Yes.
So you might want to make another rouse check for me.
Pass for that.
Hey. No, I know the plural there. These people. These. Like that side of the table, right?
So, sorry, so current hunger levels?
2.
2 and 1. All right. Oh, I wanted the you're really hungry with your family scenes, but sometimes the ST does not get what he wants. So,
For those watching, Lane's got a hand that says, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" With arrows pointing away from
The thing about marriage is it's all about levels of tolerance.
She has.
yes, we shouldn't, the podcast listeners should not miss out on the signage. I think that's a very good
Lane
point.
has a sign that says what's wrong with these people.
Pointing at everyone apart from me.
Yeah, and Theo. So basically, what is wrong with velvet and sign?
I drew an arrow pointed specifically to you.
No, that is the base of your arrow pointing away from me.
Okay, so now we've resolved that important issue. Let's press on. So, in terms of times, I suppose it will be Velvet first.
Yep.
You are going to meet the family. So let's say that by the time you get there, it is more like 20 to 4.
Okay.
Have you in some way given Jessica any warning that you will not be there at 2:30, or you have?
Yes. I will have told her ahead of time that I have some paperwork that I have to finish by a deadline, and then at the point where I've woken up, I will have texted her to say, like, I'm on my way.
Okay.
And obviously I'll have apologised.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Because I'm a nice guy.
So you will arrive around the time that they're having dessert.
Okay.
And you know Jessica quite well, so you know she is not happy with this state of affairs. She greets you warmly when you arrive, but there's a clipped nature to the way that she puts your dessert on the table, and you know, maybe she moves back to her seat and sits down just a little too crisply for someone who's entirely relaxed and happy. It is a full table, of course. So for those people who've not yet seen the prelude, so Jessica, by the way, looks to be in her late 20s, and she has long dark hair with lighter brown highlights through it. She is an attractive woman, and she is wearing makeup, and she is also wearing round glasses, and she has quite an expressive face, it's fair to say. At the moment, it looks like a happy, my husband is here face. But every so often, when other people aren't looking, it becomes, my husband is finally here face. Jessica's parents are there, Stephen and Susan. Stephen is in his late 50s, Susan is in her mid-50s. And they are sitting either side of Freddie, they seem to be kind of chatting with him, and he seems to be having the best time. There are some kind of objects which you suspect maybe have been newly bought for Freddie, but it's impossible to say because you don't really know everything Freddie owns. I mean, you know, you're not going to itemise his toys, are you? For goodness' sake. But your suspicion is that it's new stuff, and he seems to be very happy and all of that. Then you will see Jessica's brother is there, Matthew, who is in his kind of early to mid-20s, and he has short brown hair. You think he's lost weight since the last time you saw him, and he has freckles, which makes him look slightly younger than he is in a way. And you can see a bottle of wine has been opened, and there seems to have been much kind of discussion. Susan says, "Oh, you're just in time for dessert."
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with myself. I was said something I had to do just for the deadline for tomorrow, so I'm sorry that I'm late, but I didn't think I'd make dessert, so it's pretty good. I'm eating dessert.
You start eating dessert. It's good. Yeah. It's a tiramisu. It's very pleasant.
It's good to see you, though, Susan.
She says, yes, it is nice to see you too. Funnily enough, we were just talking about Christmas not being so far off, and it being a good idea to see you as well.
What, at Christmas?
Well, yes. Now that this is Freddie's first Christmas, you know.
Right, here. Sure, yeah.
And it will be a good idea to have some kind of family event to celebrate.
Sounds good.
Seems as the question is though whether it will be whether you wish to host or not.
Well, those kind of decisions are best left with Jess, not with me.
Seems well, you see, that's the thing. There's been something of a debate going on between, and he nudges Susan. He says, and he gestures. He says, they've been asking me to settle it, but as you can see, that's an impossible decision. So I was rather hoping you would save an old man from death and make the call on my behalf.
Well, you know what? I can't make the call right now, Stephen. It's tricky because I haven't spoken to my parents. And so I don't know if I have to go back stateside for Christmas.
Matthew says, well, I think Lucy should make it because she's even later than Velvet is. Last person in should make the horrible decision. Don't you think?
I like this guy. I agree with him entirely.
Susan says, yes, where is Lucy? And
I look at Jessica like, yeah, where...
You've given this to Skull, like, how could she possibly not be here by now? And around this time, Lucy arrives. Okay. So Lucy is slightly is kind of like the middle sibling between Jessica and Matthew. Lucy's biggest problem is that she's Jessica's sister. In that she looks, you know, like there are certain celebrities, like the Swayze brothers, who one just looks like a sort of not so good version of the other. That's kind of Lucy's position. She looks like a less great version of Jessica. There's nothing wrong with her. She's completely fine. But you know that she knows, and that Jessica knows, and everybody knows that this is kind of how it is, and so it's sort of. It's marked her for life in a way. She keeps her hair shorter than her sister, and doesn't wear glasses. But otherwise, the family resemblance is quite clear. And she'll be like, "Hey, sorry, I'm late.
No problem.
Sorry, I had this paper and I had to get it marked because they're all handing in on Monday."
All right. Oh, you're just in time for dessert. You want some wine?
I would love some wine.
I bought wine.
She studiously ignores her mother's shaking head and Jessica's. But there are mutters around the table of, well, you've missed a very good dinner, frankly.
I understand it was exceptional.
Jessica?
The guy here was just talking about Christmas. Well, Stephen and Susan were too. But you're last here, which means you get to decide.
Oh. Decide what?
Where Christmas is being held. At your place? Here?
Oh, well, you won't want me. I'm a terrible cook. But Jess...
Oh, it don't mean you gotta cook.
Jess is the best cook in the family. She should do it. Well, we're always saying, aren't we, Jess? How...
Oh, Jess ain't gonna cook. We'll hire someone to cook. I mean, you're not gonna cook on Christmas Day, right? No one's gonna do that, right?
There's a strange mixed set of reactions to this statement. Stephen says, well, I mean, I thought probably someone would cook.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hire someone.
Susan says, well, it won't be you, will it?
For, right?
Stephen. Bit of an odd moment. He just quickly sips his drink and says, oh, Freddie, and then goes to... So there's a little bit of toing and froing, but it's eventually agreed that Jessica won't have to cook, but probably that you will host it here. And Freddie says, does that mean Santa's going to come here?
It surely does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Stephen says, have you been a good boy this year? Because if you have, then you'll be getting lots of presents. And Freddie looks crestfallen. He says, I have been good.
Freddie's always a good boy, Stephen. I think we need to get into this here.
And there's lots of laughter, and people seem to take in good humour. Like, oh yeah, Freddie probably just done something to it. He's had too many sweets, whatever. And things kind of pass fairly smoothly. There is a point later on when the meal has kind of come to a close where Matthew will, when you're like taking plates out and stuff, will be helping. And he says, it's so good to see you, Velvet. And he'll
Good to see you too.
offer his hand.
I'll shake his hand.
He shakes it a little bit too long.
I'll say,
He says, I can't stop thinking about it. About the last time. I think...
Matthew, this ain't the time.
No, of course. We can...
We can talk, for sure.
Yeah, great. When?
How long are you in Oxford for? When you gotta go back?
Well, just for the weekend. But I can stay another day.
Oh, you got class, right?
Yeah, but I mean, everyone misses a class occasionally. I can...
You know what? We can talk tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that'd be so good if we could talk tonight. That'd be brilliant.
You look like you lost weight.
Yeah, I've been working really hard lately.
You gotta take it a little bit easy, bud.
I can't. The thing is, I've been so distracted. I just need to. If we can just talk tonight, then I'll be out of your hair. I'll be straight back to London, no trouble.
All right, let's talk.
Great. We could maybe tell them we're going out for a drink or something, and I mean, the old folks, they'll just want to play with Freddie anyway, and they'll be tired out at the end of the day, and
Right.
and the girls can do whatever they do, and that's fine. We can go out for a drink or something. Yeah, great. Okay.
I gotta wrap things up here, and I gotta make sure your mom and dad are good with me. But otherwise than that, yeah. Let's catch up.
Yeah, let's do that. So Silas, are you picking your folks up from the hotel, or are you having them come to meet you, or what are you doing?
I will personally pick them up.
Okay, you pick them up.
Yep.
And they'll get in the car. So just for reference, your mother, Marisha, looks to be in her mid-50s. Her hair is mostly grey. She's about 5'5". She is looking to your eye a little stockier than the last time you saw her, and very happy. She looks like someone who's having a good time. She seems in very good spirits. Your father looks unchanged. in contrast. He looks to be in his early 50s. He is about 6'3", and he is built much like you are.
He's bigger.
Yeah, he's a big barrel of a guy. And the car does that slight lurch, when he gets into it.
Just the slight with me, but it's a little bit more.
The front suspension is definitely, but your mum's in the back, and you start taking them to this restaurant. And after a while, your dad says, sounds good.
Yeah, keep her tuned.
What oil are you using?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you embark in car speak.
Yeah.
You haven't been car speaking for very long when your mother says, "What restaurant are you taking us to, Silas?"
Also, it's probably quite a small place, but pleasant. That I've heard of good reviews for other.
Oh, that'll be nice. Are you hungry?
I'm not particularly. I will eat a little bit.
Oh, well, I brought your favourite ginger cookies. I brought a tin.
Yeah.
So if you need a little nibble on the journey,
I'm pretty sure I will save mine. There are a few of my peers who have told you about these liberties who would love to give them a try. So.
oh, that's nice. You're looking pale, Silas. I think all this night shift work. You need to see the sun a bit more.
Yes.
You're looking pasty.
I'm fine.
Brutal.
Your dad says, leave him be. Leave him be. He's got to look pale for the show. Oh, I know he does, but don't they have makeup for that?
Yeah, although it makeup can take a bit of time. If it's more natural, it makes it a lot easier to go in, get out.
Oh, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
As well, there's so much makeup on the others. That poor Mark, the amount of time he spends in the makeup trailer. It was in a 5-hour period at one point, which was
5 hours?
Yeah.
I wonder if he gets anything done.
That was something impressive. That was season 2, episode 14. That was the scene from that.
Goodness. So you get to a restaurant, and let's assume that it is something which does sort of like traditional fare. You know that your dad is not especially adventurous food-wise. And you're not really sure with your mum, but it's not a memory you have of them kind of going wild. And this place does good portions, which both your parents like. They see that as a good thing in a restaurant when the portions are big.
Yeah.
And the portions are big. The other thing that strikes you is when you see your parents together, of course, is your mum is so tiny next to your dad. They look kind of almost comical in a sense. Your mum will talk a lot over the meal, but generally will be asking you about how everything's going, will be very interested in everything you're doing. Your dad will mainly be looking at the menu, eating, things like that.
Yeah.
Is Silas eating any of his food?
He will do to of course be polite.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Can you?
It's a composure plus stamina.
Yes.
The can use plus of life. So if I rouse, I get 6 dice. So
go for it. Because for those people who aren't familiar with vampires, unless you are a very lucky vampire or an extremely humane vampire, eating is not a natural thing. Your body doesn't have the means to deal with food anymore, nor does it really want food. It wants blood. So Silas is going to do a good show of eating food and then trying to keep it down.
So just get a really rare steak?
Yeah, you need to be like humanity 9.
It's also something where you've always had a big appetite as a kid, so your parents will notice if you suddenly don't eat anything.
That is a willpower. I just need one more.
Everybody's channeling that.
Okay.
5 critical win.
Okay. So, because you get a crit win...
Swap dice.
I got messy critical in it. I'm taking that happy critical.
Because you got a critical win, you'll be able to hold the food down for longer than an hour. Because normally it'll be an hour, and then you would have to. So you'll be rather than like having to run out in the middle of the meal and vomit and come back, you can hold it for longer.
Yep. I'll do so, and on the way out, I just pop to the facilities.
Yeah. But you can hold off for quite a while. So you have a meal. You feel like you're in control. This feels good. It feels almost normal, actually. The only thing and obviously Silas can put on a good show. The thing that's odd for you is the food brings you no pleasure. The taste is, it's like just chewing a long, never-ending piece of celery. There's probably someone in chat be like, I love celery, but essentially, all right. So insert your tasteless version of whatever. If celery isn't a thing, but
Steak.
It's cardboard.
yeah, it's like chewing wet cardboard. There is nothing. The texture doesn't please you. The taste doesn't please you. You are having to not only mechanically force yourself to eat it, but also to look like you're enjoying it. It's a very odd experience. Having said that, you do a good job.
Yeah.
And you come across very naturally, and it's actually quite an enjoyable evening. It feels weirdly normal. Though you are hungry, it is a controllable level of hunger. Most of the night you forget even about your hunger. Or do you?
I'm a hungry too, because I've aroused that.
So the one thing you are aware of course, is that whilst you are chewing on this cardboard horror, around you is a room full of people, all with beautiful blood pulsing through their veins.
Yep.
And because you're chewing and going through the effort of ingesting something, that sense of this being wrong and what is right being just over on the next table is very striking. Now I imagine as well, whilst it doesn't make any difference mechanically, that Silas is used to feeding on young-ish people, particularly of the opposite sex. And so your eyes will naturally occasionally drift in those directions. Not so much that it makes any comment from your parents, but you're just aware that they're there, and it would just be so much better to feed on someone there. Nevertheless, the evening passes smoothly and without hitch, and your mother will say, well, we're here for a couple of days, Silas. So have you got any other time in the week we could see you?
I'll check my schedule, but of course we're busy.
What about Monday, tomorrow?
I'll check to see if I have any time in
It's the 9th tomorrow.
You don't have a well.
I had a thing on the 9th.
Which is
it's
this?
9th today.
The 9th is the Sunday, so it's the 10th on the Monday. You could do something. You definitely have a shoot on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
You could do something on the Monday if you want to, or you can lie. Up to you. Depends how much you want to see your mum.
You could lie to your family because you're a horrible person.
I can't. I'm doing vandalism on my Monday.
He was a teddy bear.
So again, so I of course, of course I'll be spending a lot of time sleeping during the day, but in the evening we'll go out, take 2 sites in the evening.
We could. Well, how about? I've not seen your new place, Silas.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I saw it?
Yeah, I can take it there. So
All right. So we could do that tomorrow, maybe,
yeah.
and have a cup of tea or something. We don't have to bother you too much, or if you like, we could go out for another meal. Treat us. Not so often we. I mean, it's a bit of luxury, isn't it? Going out 2 nights in one go.
Yes. I prefer to keep luxuries. Keep luxuries the rare, so you would get to enjoy the luxury even more. Being the rare occasion.
Your dad says, "Yeah, I can't just flush the money down the toilet, can you?"
No, you're right. You're right, Dad. I do need this to, of course, keep the car in check.
It's a bit our treat, of course. We wouldn't expect you to pay for it. Your father sinks into his chair a little bit. Well, it's not often we get to see you, is it?
I know. I know.
And I want to see you eat plenty while we're here. Look like you need to eat a bit more. You've lost weight.
I'm fine. It's all the muscle.
Well, no, you're definitely looking thinner in the face. Doesn't he? He looks thinner in the face, doesn't he? Dad says maybe a little bit. See? And you know, if he says it, he means a lot. So there we are. That's settled. We'll get you a good proper meal tomorrow as well. So we are running close-ish to time.
Yep.
However, I was wondering, Theodore, if you had any plans on your bigger project.
Yes. Well, on the big one.
The big one. Or whether that's something you're waiting on till later. Oh, so the first thing is actually talking about little projects.
Yeah, my little project.
Can you give us just a... So this is going to be you basically inspiring your workers and trying to improve the base.
So I basically sit down and with Miyuki, we formulate a financial plan.
Yes.
In which, even though we increase the risk of the level of scrutiny, of financial scrutiny of the company, because we'll have to be having in our books pretty much wide open.
Yep.
I would advise our company bidding for high-end defense contracts above £5 million, which will turn them into qualified defense contracts. Not a lot of people are willing to open their books fully, but it's just the books. So as long as we keep our finances in check, and I tell them the opportunities of the revenue that we're getting, it's great for expansion, so we can stop renting and start owning bigger and better facilities. And also juicy bonuses for those involved, and you know, the odd that boss joke.
Yeah.
That is actually what I'm trying is to inspire them to make the most of it. Have the commercial and financial teams engaged, and the engineers super eager to.
So
go for it.
this is a project to raise your resources.
Yep.
It is a Scope 1 Difficulty 3 project, and it is going to be, as I understand it, the background of your herd are your workers.
I'm Miyuki.
It's going to be Miyuki.
Because I'm gonna tell them the plan, and then she's gonna run business.
Okay, so
And then I'm out of there because I have a big project to take care of.
okay, so we'll come to the big project in a second, but let's deal with this one first. So it's going to be Miyuki, as in retainer, plus leadership, because you're being inspiring. Let's see if we can get your workers to make you some money.
That was cocked.
Now, judging by the reverent silence, I'm going to assume...
7 successes, critical win.
Okay, so Miyuki is not committed for this project
At all.
at all.
The plan is given, and they understand it so well that they just go ahead.
Yeah, basically they're so inspired by Theodore.
I think like everybody's like, oh, this is a great idea. I think those bonuses are gonna have to be bigger.
Okay.
I'm a nice boss, so the bonuses are gonna be bigger, and I give Miyuki extra stack of pancakes.
Awesome. Pancakes are delivered. Miyuki looks after things, but she doesn't have to do very much because everybody's like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to make a plan. We're going to make things happen. Now, this is actually going to take several months to resolve, but you don't care too much because none of your resources are committed.
Yeah. And it's literally just leave the company, do its business.
Done.
Which is nice because also it's a little bit of empowerment to the people, to the employees. They, you know what? I trust you.
Okay.
You guys can do this. And monthly review, maybe.
It's all good. It's all good. The dice have spoken. So let's talk in our final minutes.
I just had a critical win. I don't want to roll again.
You don't have to roll. You don't have to roll the dice. But what I would like to do is talk about the super big project.
Okay, my super big project involves finding where is. I should stop calling him Mr. Weston and start calling him fucking Bob, because he is a man who does not deserve Theodore's respect.
So Bad Boy Bob, Bad Boy Bob, or hashtag 3B, or Robert Weston, who you are trying to find.
So what I'm gonna try and do is probably after I deliver all the documents and have everything for Sir Willie.
That's all done.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask him for his help. on
Sure,
this.
understood.
I will probably get in touch with Sir Holder,
Yeah.
telling her that I am embarking into this and I am just putting everything I have on it. I tell.
So what's your aim with Sir Holder?
Not Sir Holder, sorry, Sir Francis. Because she's the one who let me know, so I'm letting her know.
Sure. You're just informing her you're on it. That's fine. Yep.
I will embark on this project with Isabel.
So
Tell her what it is about.
understood.
What does it mean, and the importance of it for the prince and the city and the scourge and everybody.
Yep.
And that I sort of have the help of Sir William on it, and a lot rests on this. But personally, it's not that I'm looking for any of them. Like I could exchange any of those things for someone, vouching for me.
Okay.
I think it's more important that this matter is resolved.
Sure.
Because sort of in Theodore's mind is like, if what I need is to have a couple of people vouching for me, I can do what I just did in a couple of weeks and do it. But this is greater than me. I want this.
Okay.
So it's gonna be through that, and also asking a favor of probably offering a boon to Soap and Brick.
To Soap and Brick.
Well, either or.
Okay, so I will just tell you very quickly a couple of things. One is that this project is going to work slightly different to a normal project insofar as if you succeed in the project, there will then be a scene that follows it. And if the scene is successful, the project is successful.
Okay.
So you don't need to do a launch scene.
I have to do a.
You do a consequences scene instead.
Of course, I am recruiting everyone from the coterie that wishes to assist, and I'm throwing my 2 coterie points in it.
So, this project is obviously a project which has the interest of the prince or the scourge involved. That means you can obviously gamble your coterie points on it if you wish. It is worth noting, this is what is considered a high-risk, high-reward project.
My exact kind of project.
I'm debating whether whether I'd ask you to roll in this session or not. No, everyone in chat's like, roll, goddamn you, roll.
Can I throw my resources into this? Can I know if that works that way?
Oh, well,
To be involved in the project, you will need to stake some kind of resource of your own.
So you're throwing your coterie points and you stake some resources, and depending on the role I have to make, if you have that skill, you can help me.
So, just so we're clear, you are trying to find a Malkavian vampire who has some years behind them, who is, as I think the Scourge might have mentioned, potentially not alone, who is in a different city that you don't know, who does not wish to be found.
Yep.
So
that pretty much sums the
so this is a scope 5 project. That means the difficulty you've got to hit is 7. It is an investigation role because you're trying to hunt someone down. And you can apply backgrounds as you wish. If you put coterie points in, that will give you additional die to roll. Sir William's assistance will give you a die to roll. You have an option. If you want Soap's help, you can have a minor boon for that. If you want Brick's help, he will want a major boon for his assistance. It's your call whether you wish to involve it or not.
A persuasion interrogation, because what we're going to be doing is mostly that. It's not like we have access to CIA material or the police.
No, but I'm assuming it is going to be you trying every angle you can to find information and narrow it down.
Okay. That's going to be difficult because I don't have investigation.
You could, in theory, have someone else lead the role if they had investigation.
Investigation?
No.
Two. You have so much investigation that it's amazing.
The rest of us, yep.
Joanna, are you willing to be involved in this project?
Yes, you'll give it that.
The only thing I have access to give at the moment is 1 coterie point and 1 resource. Because I'm temporarily down to 1 because I gave all that money to the thin glass.
Well, yeah, we're going to be...
I'm going to stick all 3 of my resources into there.
Well, depending on the role, we know how many points then we have to put. But it's going to be at least 1 each, if not 2.
Presumably we couldn't do this on subterfuge.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's investigation, I'm
Well,
afraid.
no, I'm just thinking because I've got cover-ups and does it work in
Likewise.
reverse because
Yeah.
he's a cover.
I like the argument, it's cute, but I think
I have power-ups as
Oh
well,
no,
so
whenever
we
someone
could-
says it's cute, I'm like, fail.
No, I mean, Because we don't have investigation, we cannot give dice to
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Lane when she rolls for Joanne. But is our collective knowledge of how to cover up things enough to give her maybe a die?
Yes.
For both.
Yes. I will say you can give her an extra die each. How about that? Because I'm a benevolent and loving ST.
I like that.
I like that.
So
How many is the pool at the moment?
Well, I'm giving you both my coterie points.
Okay, so basically it'll be... Oh, the things that if she takes the lead, it has to be... Oh, well, it's all of our resources.
you're all going to be throwing.
I'm staking my mola.
So you're basically getting Isabel to assist in the project.
Oh,
So that's... Yeah.
Sorry, carry on because I'm just thinking this through. Go to other people.
Okay,
Right?
I'm going to in-character bargain you with you on this.
Yeah.
If I stake my resources, I want it replenished by you.
You resources
I want-
replenished?
Or you train me how to use a gun.
Why would you want to learn? The amount of money you're going to put in is something that I can literally give you out of my back pocket. So it can be covered.
So what you're saying is the money you're putting into the project, if you need money, you want to be covered.
Oh, yeah. You will.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you need money, Theodore will cover you, is what you're saying. Okay.
I'm
And the
defending.
gun training as well.
You want some pointers in gun use.
Okay.
I'm vaguely wondering whether to leverage my herd in this. If other people can put resources in.
You can use your herd because your herd obviously your family are actually connected in a number of different places. They can ask questions. They have contacts in different industries and things.
Yes, and in different areas.
Yeah, that's fine. It obviously means that they potentially you won't have access to feed on them
Basically, you have
whilst this is going on.
Well, I might
your skill.
absorb Adam into
at
my
2.
family. Okay.
Now, seeing as we've gone on this late, I think we should probably do the roll. Otherwise, I feel like we were letting down our audience on some level if we made them wait a week.
So it would be skill is 2.
So I've
Okay.
got 2 herd and 2 coterie points. I don't know what you get.
Yeah, that's you give him 5 dice. Your herd, your coterie points, and your cover-ups.
1, 2, 3, 4, there you go.
My mola, my coterie points.
Worth saying, if you fail this roll, the coterie points are all lost.
I mean, it's.
You've got to be in it to win it, right?
I'm going to give you my 500 dice because they are the least treacherous of them.
Would I be able to bring in Finn on this?
You can ask Finn to assist you in this, yes.
I will bring.
Roll them dice.
I will bring.
Finn thinks this is great, by the way. Finn is well up for this.
So I am.
Oh, wait. I am owing a minor boon to Soap.
So Soap will give you a die.
Would I be able to then cash in that boon?
You can cash in a boon on Mr. Whispers, but it means
It's a moment in which we
If-
give
but-
everything.
if you cash in the boon on that, Mr. Whispers won't be necessarily vouching for you.
We should be accepted into the city.
I'll take.
Oh, he's in.
I think you're going to need a big...
Oh, that's a fucking cursed tray. I'm not using that.
Okay. All of this.
Okay,
Go with Phil.
so how many? So who's put coach? You put 2 coterie points.
I put
You put 2. You put 2. Have you put any?
I put my one.
Oh,
I put my 1 resource in and my 2 investigation.
but you're not putting a coterie point in.
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay,
You can put a coterie point.
No. We need at least 1.
okay.
You can get flaws.
Did you put in all your? Did you put all your coterie points in as extra die?
Yes.
Excellent.
You can get flaws.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, so let's see what happens.
Oh fuck.
Willpower.
No.
You can't.
Oh, you can't, yes.
6,
7.
8.
Okay.
Yeah. No critical wins, but that means that the scope of 5. We need to put a total 4 points of. Remember, 5.
Yeah.
Scope plus.
I do remember the convoluted rules. So after the session, we'll work out who puts in what, because you'll get basically some of, you don't have to keep all of your resource invested. So just for people who are listening along, who may be wondering what on earth is going on, what essentially this role represents is the coterie have called in a number of favours,
All of them.
have gambled, with the exception of Joanne, everything they've got, in an attempt to try and find information. So some of the SPCs that are helping them will be using technological means. Some will be asking in the street. Some have influence in different areas. Some of the sires will know people, perhaps in Reading, other kindred. The Coterie themselves will be investigating, listening for rumours, putting things together, working out where it's likely these people are and trying to narrow it down to a location. Now then, it is possible, one might even say likely, that there may be people who do not wish this project to complete. And therefore, next session, it's possible that the dice might go back. At the moment, it is set at 6 months. Okay? Because you are trying to narrow down in a city a location to find, as I said, a Malkavian who does not wish to be found. So the odds are tough. And of course, if they get wind that you're after them, they may take other actions. But those things will resolve next session. Suffice to say, when the project finishes, there will then be a scene that we will play out together, which again I suspect will be next session, and may well involve the Scourge. So good fun times for all. However, at this point we are going to pause here. Thank you very much for bearing with us, everyone at home. Thank you as always to the players for being fabulous. Thank you to Callum for all of the help. Much appreciated. It's Callum Appreciation Week again. Yay!
We should get more of those.
And thank you to all of you at home. And hopefully we will see you next week for session 8 and good fun shenanigans.
Or this weekend at Dragon Meet.
Yep.
Oh yes, or at Dragon Meet. Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of Blind of the Tamesis. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. on Twitch, or you can catch up on YouTube and our podcast. And a big thanks to our supporters on Patreon and all of you beautiful disaster ghouls. We'll see you next time. Matane.